Burn Bright, FFWS 2025 Global Finals is here!
Welcome to Jakarta. We're finally here at the Free Fire World Series Global Finals 2025. My name is Conchita Carolan and I'm super honored to be your host for this tournament. Joining me is someone who knows the fire of this competition well, the one and only Yutsal.
Thank you, Conchita, and the warmest welcome to whoever watching online. Wherever you are in the world, this is it. The wait is finally over. This is where the comfort ends and the battle truly begins.
From 18 of the best teams all around the globe, only 12 will take the stage today. Firstly, we have All Gamers Global, locked in and ready to strike.
Up next, Heavy, the Iron Force from Vietnam.
Last fourth place, E1 is back for redemption.
A fierce competitor from Vietnam, Go!
Sharp and fearless, this is BE Sports.
Representing LATAM, it's movie star R7, rising higher than ever.
From Bangladesh, the pride of the nation, this is Red Hogs.
Solid player, solid game. Make way for Team Solid.
The defending world champions, ready to reign again. This is Fluxo.
The dual mod champions of Southeast Asia, Team Falcons.
Battle tested and stars sighted. Let's go, boot it up, United Esports!
And finally, unpredictable, untamed, and ready to rumble, WAJ!
All the teams are ready to prove that they belong among the brightest. And this year's team, Crushed Ups, Burn Bright, says it all. Every player carries their own fear, their own hesitation. But champions, they rise above it.
They turn pressures into power and doubts into fools. Only the strongest team will survive from a knockout stage. But wait, before we begin, Conchita, how do we say do your best in Bahasa Indonesia?
Oh, you can say semangat, because semangat actually means keep up the spirit, or you can do it. Can you say that?
All right, let me try. Semangat!
Semangat!
Yeah.
Shall we do it together?
All right.
3?
One.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Semangat! Sounds great! You sound amazing.
Yep. What about Time to Shine or Burn Bright?
Oh, we have that as well. You can say waktunya bersinar.
This one sounds hard.
I know.
Waktunya
Waktunya bersinar.
bersinar.
Let's say it again together. 1, 2, 3. Waktunya bersinar! There you have it, survivors. To all the players, semangat! Once again, the battlefield awaits. Jakarta is watching, and the world is surely watching.
Time to curse out, burn bright. Let's get back to our casters, Semangat. The stage is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. The stage that everyone has been waiting for is finally here. Doubts will be crushed and the teams will be shining brightly at this point. This is the Free Fire World Series Global Finals 2025. I'm Neptune the Gentleman Garcia, joined by the one and only Mustachio AJ, and we will be your casters for today.
I am not excited. I am over excited at this point of time. We have been overcharging ourselves, preparing for not just this day, but this very moment where we get to introduce you guys the team, the format, and the kickoff of this whole show, right? Because we don't just jump into play-ins and then straight up the grand finals. We've got a little bit of a group stage, and these teams have got more than a couple of chances to climb up to the top. We are going to see everybody out there in the mix. We've got teams who have been making a lot of noise in the comment section, but now we get to see them out there on the battlefield as well, doing what they do best, and we get to see if or not they can walk the talk. Well, technically, their fans were doing a lot of the talking. Now, the team has to do the walking. I don't know if they can keep it up, but I hope they absolutely crush the doubts out there. Yes, Red Hawks, I am talking about you. But of course, we have got the tournament timeline coming up for you guys, and we are running through from the 31st of October, that is today, all the way to the 9th of November for the knockout stage, where we will be dividing the 18 teams that are in here for Battle Royale into 3 groups of 6 that you will see later on. And of course, the grand finals coming up for you guys on the 15th. But there's not just one grand finals, there's 2 back-to-back days, because we also have Clash Squad coming up, but more on that later on.
Yeah, definitely. And as you did mention, we do have 3 groups similar to what we've seen in most tournaments that we have in Free Fire. And Group A, B, or A, B, C, and AC would be the rotation that we have. It's not in a particular order. It would be randomized for the 2 weekends that we will be having the knockout stage. But for the 12 teams that will be coming up on top, that's where we beat them on 15th of November. So I'm really excited for that to happen, to see, as you did mention, who's going to walk the talk, or walk the talk the comment section has been throwing out in there, because this is what at stake, AJ. That's $300,000 for the champion.
Yeah, absolutely stacked with the prize pool here. Everybody wants the biggest slice of the pie, but can you digest it all? Can you survive long enough to the very final day for the final battle? And of course, even when we get there, you gotta deal with Champion Rush, baby. The point system as usual. You hit the booyah, you walk away with 12 points, 9 points for second place. You minus off 1 point for each consecutive position, but 11th and 12th placement gets you no placement points at all. You can buffer yourself with those eliminations. Every elimination gets you 1 point. Tiebreaker rules, on the other hand, goes by the number of booyahs, followed by the total number of eliminations, as well as the ranking in the final game.
Yeah, and also we still have the unique active skill available, and I'm really excited on how the teams are going to use this, because we do have a new skills available in the game, which is Nero. So let's see if that is something that the teams will be putting in on their gameplay, because I played Battle Royale and I am loving that cryo mine that Nero is bringing in. But it still depends on the game style or the play style of the teams right now, and that's what they're going to use in these matches. But speaking of matches, this is the schedule that we have. We're going to start it off with Alpine. Purgatory will follow, and then Kalahari, and then the second half would be Bermuda, Nextera, as well as Lara.
This is insane, man. On the very first day, we are keeping the trump card map for the final bout on game number 6. So Lara is a map where we've seen all the regions. Not many of them have found full mastery on this map just yet. It's still a coin toss as to who's going to be able to dominate it. Yes, there are some outlier squads, which we'll not mention now just yet, because we want to see how they fare against each other on the international stage. But of course, later on down in the competition, we'll be breaking that down a little bit more for you guys as well. Let's take a look at everything out there later on as far as the teams as well as their lineups are concerned, because of course we've got 18 squads here for the global finals, but only 12 will be in performance today. Once again, we only have groups A versus C today. Group B will be taking their rest, and this is a huge factor that might benefit those teams tomorrow, Nev.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, day one, most of the time is scrappy, and those who are resting have the opportunity to study their opponent. So we're going to see in a bit which are the teams that will be playing, and hopefully those that you are cheering is on there. But if your favorites are not in the list, hopefully still hang with us, because I'm pretty sure you want to see the gameplay of these teams. We start off with Team Falcons, Red Hawks, Team Solid, GOW, PE Sports, Peru United Esports, Fluxo, Movistar R7, Team Heavy, AG Global, E1 Sports, and WAG.
Many heavy hitters out there, many popular names as well. Today we are starting with teams that will definitely be dragging in the crowd. So hello to everybody watching from all around the world. We've got our eyes on teams like Fluxo, teams like E1 Sports. We've got Team Solid out there. And obviously the Southeast Asian teams are going to be making a lot of noise. But in the comment section, I know one nation, one squad, Red Hawks. We have been waiting for a long time to see players like Kutush, Blade, Nejad, as well as Flicker out there doing their best. A little bit of a teaser at EWC, but this time I think they have gotten a taste of what they're dealing with, and they've gone back and they have prepared well for today and for the whole competition. I'm looking to seeing Red Hawks play their best game out there today. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they are trying to emulate what Southeast Asia has been bringing into the mix. But how can they fare, especially if Peru United is in play? And did mention about Fluxo, who is our current defending champions for the global finals. So both of them are on this page. We also have Movistar, R7, and EWC, as I did mention, showed up in a great fashion, and hopefully PE Sports will not be left out as well, because it's been a while that when we saw PE Sports in the global stage, and hopefully they will be motivated to rank up and move up into leaderboard early as this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, just on that page alone, we see so many players who have had the experience playing on the global stage in the past. But also, what we see in front of us, many players from Vietnam. For the first time ever, we've got 4 squads qualifying from Vietnam. They've got the most number of teams, most number of players here in the global finals. I'm very curious to see how they do overall. Unfortunately, they won't be able to help each other out. It's still going to be a slugfest. But we have to also focus on another factor, Neptune. Yes, we've got the individual teams, but now there's a little bit of a tiff, a little bit of a struggle within the comment section all over the world. Which part of the world is better? Is East the best, or will the West find or manage to best the East at the end of the day? You look at the Eastern powerhouses, you've got teams like Buriram, Falcon, AG Global, WAG, and then you look at the Western powerhouses, you've got Fluxo, you've got Team Solid, E1, R7. I mean, it's going to be explosive out there when we start this match.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of the quantity that we have in the East right now, and hopefully they will also show up with the quality. But when we look at those from the West, like, we've seen great quality out of them, despite of not having that much numbers in terms of teams. So that would tip the balance a little bit on that battle of East and West. But I want to see more. I want to see West defend their champion and also their prestige all over this game, because so far, even for the videos that we've seen earlier, there's a lot of banter that is being thrown right now, and hopefully they can live up to that.
Yeah, no doubt at all. And of course, we have got a little bit of a teaser for all of you guys in a little bit coming up. It is called the Room of Pressure. How much of pressure we throw at these players? Well, you guys will see in a little bit. Neptune and I will catch up with you in a bit.
From the east to the west, 2 regions collide under the same flame. One plays for pride, the other for legacy. Inside this room of pressure, only one truth remains. Those who crashed outs burn bright.
พวกเราจะพิสูจน์ตัวเองด้วยผลงาน
Eu já ganhei 2 mundiais para o Brasil e o terceiro está próximo.
Khi chúng tôi đánh bại bạn, bạn sẽ nhớ tới Việt Nam.
Latam siempre se pone nervioso, no esta vez.
Bốn đội Việt Nam đã làm được điều đó, và đó không phải là một sự trùng hợp.
Estamos hartos de ser la sombra de Brasil, ahora somos Latam.
ถึงเวลาเอาแชมป์โลกกลับบ้านแล้วครับ
O leste fala sobre legado, mas o oeste escreve história.
They entered with pressure. They'll leave with fire. From east to west, which region will burn the brightest? We shall see.
Love that the room of pressure we're in. Everyone needs to be hyper focused just in what's in front of them and not look around on what is being thrown around them. Again, it's a great metaphor that the room pressure has. All of those trash talk, everything that is being thrown at you, all surrounding you, that would depend on what your focus is. If you just have your eyes in front, then all those pressure will be left behind, and all you have to do is take that victory.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The East versus the West. That's exactly what we're going to be looking at for a majority of the competition all throughout. But of course, in the comment section, you guys let us know exactly who do you think is going to be the very best. Are you here for the East? Are you here for the West? If you're from the East and you're supporting the West, let us know as well as vice versa. But you know what? There was a little cookie crumb in there that was dropped that we have to pick up on as well. There's a battle between the East and the West, but LATAM, which is from the West, is also gunning for Brazil. They no longer want to be that backup story. They no longer want to be that second thought, right? They want to take the step forward. They want to lead the West, perhaps even dominate out there for the West. But of course, here are our predictions on who we think are going to dominate today, and it looks like we kind of think alike, at least for that first place there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Team Falcons had our eyes, especially from the qualifiers in Southeast Asia fall. But I do believe that Fluxo will be able to put on more prestige in the game. I mean, they are here to show up. They're here to really make sure that the West has a representative all throughout the grand finals. And let's not forget Heavy as well. I mean, how they showed up from Southeast Asia is really pristine as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no doubt at all, they are going to go out there and they're going to try to rip things away. But I kind of am a little jealous that you have Fluxo out there. They are most definitely a threatening one, managing to dominate both Battle Royale and Clash Squad in Brazil. And I think that's no joke, right? Yes, Southeast Asia, we know it's very dominant, it's very competitive, but so is Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, I really love how when I saw them first, especially in EWC, how they practice, how they motivate themselves, and as well as look forward to each and every game. That's what I really respect about those from Brazil, especially from Fluxo. So I want to see that happen right now, and also be emulated by those coming from the East, because I know that there's different tactic, but I guess this is where we stop on doubting and wait for what is up front, because it seems like the battle is ready, AJ, and I'm loving it's going to start right now.
Oh, we are shivering, and yes, because it is about to get a little cold out there. What am I talking about? This is just gonna be hot the whole day long. Game number 1 here to open up our global finals knockout stage. Day 1, game 1, Alpine. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, survivors of all ages, we hope you are ready. We sure as hell hope your favorite team is ready, because it's not going to be an easy one. Neptune, what I want to see at the start of this match is some hot drops.
Oh, let's see if that would happen against some of the teams that are already dropped in, but it seems like Militia will find a few of those engagements where Red Hawks will be fighting against Heavy, and even in Snowfall, we are seeing Brim United being hot dropped by Movistar R7, and I love this storyline coming from both of these sets.
Woohoo! And Red Hawks, they are the one with the first blood on the first game, on the first day. Come on, Bangladesh, this doesn't get better than that. And they are picking on Team Heavy of all squads, Vietnam. Danger is looming ahead of them. But Movistar R7 up against Buriram as well. Della has got the Vector in hand. Nejat gets knocked down as well, but Kutush is there for the backup. Mag 7. Boys get picked up right away, and Heavy, one more survivor, managing to back out of that. Moshi shots up to the top. Hack gets dropped as well. Joker trades one back, but Games King, a sliver of hell. Jonah will be able to drop him as well, and the SMG supremacy. Hax looks like he's the only one still hanging on. Time Turner is there. Get High just making sure he cleans up house, and the first team to get eliminated is R7. And I want to highlight the fact that we did make sure we hyped up Movistar R7. And when we were hyping them up, when they were speaking those strong words, we showed the elimination feed. They eliminated Buriram United Esports in that hype video. Well, I think revenge is sweet, and it came a little too quick.
You know how it is. Like when Buriram United is being put down, they know how to bring themselves up. And speaking of getting up, just a rewind on what happened. Get High is prioritizing, or Buriram United is prioritizing on bringing his teammates back up. Thus, they still managed to survive. But E1 right now, it seems like they are taking out Red Hawks, who is the elimination leader at this point. They have all the rooftop cover, and there's no way out for Blade and Nejad.
Yep, okay, the jump pad now used. Nejad tries to get away, but Vitin, sharpshooter AC-80. They're trying to split up. Blade, one more shot needed. The connection, not perfect. On the landing, pulls out a glue wall. And that's going to keep him safe for the time being. Blade knocked down. Kabi gets a little bit of revenge here for the side of Heavy up against Red Hawks. But Heavy will be able to claim lives on the side of E1 as well. And this has just turned into a three-way battle, about to become four-way as WAG hops on into the fray as well.
Yeah, WAG has been waiting in there silently for their opportunity, but they're not out of the woods just yet because we still have Heavy who is rolling around. E1 would need to be careful, and Vitin will be taken down in there, and it is T-Kui managed to knock him down. Now let's see if WAG can add more to the elimination that they have, but not so much of enemies on the area other than Heavy. And Don't Cry might not be able to survive this just in case WAG sees them healing up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's two ways to look at this. Number one, WAG just saved Heavy from being ran over by E1. Number two, WAG is setting up Heavy to feast on them, rip away some extra points. But here comes Team Solid on the rotation right around Heavy as well. There's a big probability that they get caught off. But Red Hawks, a hot start with the eliminations, but they fizzle out fairly quickly. That's a tad bit unfortunate for Bangladesh.
Let's see though, there you have it. We have Team Solid right now being in a hit list or triggering that hit list as well, so they need to be cautious not to be out in the open. And a launch pad is available for them to get away. Now let's see though as to where they will be placing themselves. They are trying their best to make sure the arsenal is also clear with that binocular. So I guess they do have a lot of openings unless GLW rushes against them.
A weapons arsenal, and a good move here by Team Solid. You need those upgrades for sure. You need those better weapons. And got it unlocked fairly early. And WAG might just be in trouble if they decide to drop by and say hello. Team Solid doesn't have a defensive spot on the outside. Playing with fire here if they get caught at the wrong timing. But they do anticipate a squad inside here. You can see with the movements of Nick. Trying to keep an eye on those players. And Nero will show up first in this engagement. But of course, no glue walls brought up just behind that wall. A tad bit unfortunate. It's a little waste off that active skill net.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have that cryo mind, you'll be able to spot out the enemy, but it doesn't last that long, especially if the opponent will be able to take down that plushie. So I guess they were spotted, but their position was moved very quickly. So I guess that's the reason as well why WAG is moving away. So they don't want to be caught off guard, and they missed one of the players from Team Solid as well. So I guess it's more information, and then that's where they have the confidence. But since they lack that, they're back now.
Lovely rotation. Now, flanking around from the right-hand side, WAG has managed to unlock the airdrop. A jump pad gets them out of harm's way. And what a beautiful glue wall on the drop. Glue UAV sent out as well, just to make sure that glue wall, that defense is buffed up. And that keeps them safe for the rotation away from the Brazilian squad. But now out in the open, WAG in a little bit of trouble, because their rotation here might just be intercepted by GOW if they are unlucky. And they do use the binoculars to scan on the area towards their right-hand side here. Vending machine, definitely the play for the players of WAG. They've got enough coins to buffer themselves up. They do need those level 3 vests.
Yeah, let's see if they'll be able to get that for Team Fluxo. They are just hanging back. Not so much of contention, but earlier we saw a little bit of a takedown or elimination coming from them, but they managed to recover that quickly. And it seems like they will be silent all throughout up until mid-game. And as we look at the map right now, it seems like there's a lot of hit list being triggered, and that's where everyone will be pushed into.
I mean, you gotta love some information play, bro. GOW up against WAG now. X-Ball flanking around from the right-hand side, trying to make sure as the sniper of the squad, he's got a great vantage point to protect the rest of his team members, as well as get a couple of knocks for WAG. Great position held by X-Ball. RIP spotted out, but patience triggered discipline from the WAG player.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, only one information, one player to be cited. And if you don't have all position of the players, you won't be able to take them down. There would be a loss, though, because we keep talking about it. A knockdown will not be fulfilled unless it is confirmed. And none from WAG is also on position to be able to confirm those eliminations. And next, we're still in position to go and take the shot. AWN in hand, and Dion almost taken down. If it wasn't for a hop, he could have been down already.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the inhaler and the medkit out there, so nothing much for him to worry about. And none of the other WAG players close enough to take advantage of that initial tag. Vanmo now, RGS 50 going in for the double on those grenades, but the Steffi popped in time, so
for WAG, but X4 has ran out, and there you have it, GU stealing that away from GOW.
Yeah, the Winchester in hand, managing to take it away from GOW. Extra point for Fluxo, unfortunate for WAG, but what a counter by the players of GOW. Phenomenally played, especially on that right-hand side flank. They knew exactly what was going to be advantages for them. They set it up. And of course, we did see a little bit of a misplay from the players of WAG, kind of miscalculating exactly how GOW was going to rotate in that situation. And overall, putting their sniper far away didn't fare well for them at all.
Yeah, I mean, X-Bor was in position. That shot could have been made, and that would be a push for WAG. But unfortunately for them, even the Valiant Dash from Tikoi didn't knock down any of the opponents. But as we look at the map right now, Brave United still on Snowfall. And it seems like they will still be safe. But as we saw in there, AG as well as Team Falcons is in the battle. Let's see who's going to win it. A couple of Winchester from On Fire and Pina that might throw off the gameplay of AG. But let's see if they'll be able to fire back.
Yep, AG under pressure. Falcons, both squads outside the circle, but not too far away from the safe zone. Just taking a little bit of damage, Falcons thinking they could bait AG into a little battle outside the zone, but AG was not going to fall for that inside of Forest Red. Circle around, looking for that flank around the right for the next zone as well. No eliminations so far for the side of AG Global. The Southeast Asian teams, at least the ones from Thailand, are trying to play this as quietly as possible until they get a little bit deeper into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, for Brave United, if it wasn't for a hot drop, they might still have zero elimination at this point. But let's see though, AG, Riptide Rhythm breaks them down, and Team SR is out. Team Solid showing solid gameplay as well as anticipation as to where AG will be landing, and they managed to take a knock.
Yeah, unfortunate. No time turner there on the side of AG. Could have gotten the save on their team member, but now it's going to be trouble time because AG Global needs to figure out how do they get a revival. Do they play a risky maneuver outside the safe zone and hit one of those vending machines, or do they just stick with a three-man play? Team Solid obviously not going to allow them to move far away from the defensive spot, but GOW is that distraction. The glue UAV pulled out by Demon. Barricades are strengthened. Steffi popped as well. GOW will not be teased by those grenades. Riptide Rhythm now coming out from the side of Team Solid as well to melt down their glue walls. Demon, that nade still Steffi will protect them, and GOW is dealing very well with Team Solid. AG Global needs to use this opening to get away.
Love the combination that GOW has pulled up. The Steffi plus that glue wall that would help or make sure that the glue wall will not be going down despite of the Riptide Rhythm. Demon with a Valiant dash, but Demon will be taken down by Guaxa from behind. Rip right now, M79. Let's see, he will be able to take one shot and bring down Team Solid, but it is a high hopes for him. He's the only one remaining against 4 players of TS.
RIP, he's got the grenade launcher. He needs to make some magic work here. RIP takes himself out instead. I'm not gonna make fun of him because it's happened to me as well.
Well,
that's to a lot of us, okay? You guys just don't admit it.
That's one reason I'm not using that weapon, because I'm off angle when I make that shot. But Lao Ho right now being taken down, and Fluxo is taking advantage of their position to go and chase against PE Sports. And as they lost one player, it seems like they are up in the corner right now with nowhere to go out.
Yeah, well defended though by PE Sports, just barricading all of those windows with the glue walls. But Nolan, the timing was off, and the charge buster by GU puts him down onto the ground. Fluxo just waiting for the timing here to hop on in there, pulling out a double glue wall to block off the windows once again, but a mistake by PE Sports. But they still do manage to block off the access by Fluxo. GU really low, but the time turner pulled down in the nick of time. And GU saves the day. PE Sports was so close to annihilating Fluxo, but not a single player from the Brazilian squad was knocked down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is a great move coming from Fluxo at that point. Now, let's see on Borem United and Team Falcons. They are just waiting at each other. Not only that, Team Falcons is taking some hits from E1 Sports. I think AG is just keeping themselves silent just to make sure that they will not be distracting anyone from either E1 or Heavy. But Team Solid, I saw them jump in, and I thought they will be targeting Fluxo at this point. But good angle to take, but they need to move, because in 15 seconds, the blue will be moving along them.
The East has got quantity here, but the West has got quality. Team Solid as well as Fluxo, but there's a little bit of infighting. Riptide Rhythm sent the way of Team Solid! And Jonah with the double! Gets the 3-pointer, Kobe! Limit taken out of the equation. Pow steals 1 point away, but it doesn't matter. Falcons out of the equation. And now we are left with only 6 squads. MT7, a double knock. Team Solid facing a lot of trouble because of the position that Fluxo holds on to. Heavy pressuring them from the right-hand side as well. This has to be the end for Team Solid.
Oh, let's see. I mean, Traps is trapped in the corner, and Moshi managed to hit him from afar. 5 team remaining, and Fluxo is still on the run. Glue UAV helping them out to survive, but on the other side, Heavy would be a potential target, and both of E1 and Fluxo is knocking them down.
Dude, the flame zone is just up in the ante here. But look at Buriram circling around from the right-hand side. E1 is still in here as well. How in the world? I did not see them earlier.
Oh, no.
I do not know, but it doesn't matter. They get squashed as well as Buriram rages on. Moshi, Superman on the left-hand side. Fluxo still alive and kicking. A little bit closer to the players of Heavy. 1 gets knocked down. 9 eliminations for the side of Buriram, but just tethering on the very edge of the current zone.
Let's see, don't cry. Might be at a loss right now. Fluxo is behind. Brim is in front. Now it's a team versus team between East versus West. And let's see who's going to win this. Would it be the defending champion or the one chasing for that crown? Wasan is already down. Jonah managed to take himself out. And Fluxo might be the team to grab the first booyah in this game.
It's not just the first booyah, Neptune. A freaking massive booyah as Moshi gets taken down by Bobs. 17 eliminations was what I last saw. Plus a booyah. 12 points off of placements. The reigning defending champions, technically the back-to-back global champions, have done it again, and they have started off day 1 to get to the top in such a phenomenal fashion.
And one thing I'm seeing from Fluxo at this point is they're not that passive team anymore. They are taking advantage of their position, running against opponent, hearing those gunshots, and just heading towards all those engagement. And that's how they got that 17 elimination. And I am loving this version of Fluxo right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly what we needed to see out of Fluxo, the tenacity and the confidence and also the capability. Because yes, we've seen them in the past and what they have done is mainly stay passive until the very end. And sometimes they would have stayed too silent for too long. They could not catch up. But of course, when it comes to the global finals, the grand finals itself, Fluxo is a different kind of beast. But now we see them bringing out that version of themselves so early in the knockout.
So in the lead. I mean, I'm really loving this turnaround. I mean, game number 1 is just so heated up. It's just so massive. And I was expecting a global final. It would be a slow game because everyone is trying their best to identify where they can rotate safely. But there's no safe space. All they have to do right now is just look for the enemy and trust their instincts.
Yeah, I mean, at that point of time, the final engagement, it was a story called Run, Moshi, Run. But no matter where he ran, no matter what he did, there was just nothing that he could do to save his squad and to get them the booyah. But you know, valiant effort overall for Buriram to survive long enough to that final circle. But very, very impressive first booyah of the day, courtesy of our reigning champs. This is ridiculous, man. I mean, look at the number of eliminations on a stage like this. Fluxo's not messing around.
Oh, definitely. I mean, 17 elimination plus that booyah. It's 29 points already. And what I'm sad about, because we saw Team Falcons being eliminated in there, though they do have placement point, and unfortunately they don't have any elimination as well. The same goes for Movistar R7. Yes, they grabbed one when they hot dropped Buriram United, but that's it for them in the first game. And hopefully it doesn't affect their motivation as well, because if you're lost after losing out on Buriram United, then that would carry over onto the next game.
Yeah, no doubt at all. I think, you know, it's okay because it's just the first day, technically just the first game. They've got 5 more games to find a little bit of adjustment out there. Fingers crossed, it's a little bit more kinder to them, the environment. You know, fingers crossed they don't get those early engagements again, albeit, I have to say, Red Hawks was very impressive up against Heavy at the start of the game. But 29 points, so 17 eliminations was correct. 29 is massive, but Buriram's not too far away. 11 eliminations on the outside for a total of 20 points, including the placements. Heavy still kind of, you know, getting up towards the top here because surviving long enough was the name of the game, and Red Hawks just could not finish the job at the start.
Yeah, I mean, I still love seeing Heavy on the top 3 of this match, but looking at Team Fluxo at this point, they're not going in with the current meta. This is where they are confident, and we saw that confidence onto the game with A124, Skylar, Oscar, as well as Steffi. But the Skylar, it seems like it's being slowed down because of the glue UAV. We've seen that so many instances wherein that could have been a clear out of those glue walls, but that update just gave more opportunity for the teams to stand up.
Yeah. I mean, and this is what we like to see as well, right? 2 players with a team booster, 2 players with a tactical market. They've got a good balance. And if you look at which are the ones bringing in the tactical market, it's the players who are on the back lines, right? And the ones who are on the front, a little bit of an extra boost on their health as they take these very aggressive engagements. I think they've played this out very, very well overall. But MT7 with the 8 eliminations, this is a huge warning to a lot of the other players out there. If you've got a sniper on your side, and I don't know how you're going to detect Fluxo out there, but you better take their sniper out. MT7 has started off the day, and he is rocking it. 9 knockouts, 7 assists, 8 eliminations. Those are some insane stats off of this guy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, close to 5k on the damage. And, well, I know I put a little bit of, well, not hate, but question on Skylar, but it seems like it doesn't matter for MT7. As long as he has the sniper, whether an AC-80, AWM in hand, he can still make those shots. And it's not just from long range. He can make this in the mid-range as well. That is one reason why he is one of the deadliest sniper in the field right now with that Maro, Susie, and Moko as well. A little bit of insurance policy with that Susie that we rarely see that nowadays.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think the Skylar is definitely going to be abused out there, even in this current season, because you've got too many of those buffs coming out for those glue walls, right? You've got the glue UAV, especially right now. You've got everything going in the way of defense, so you need some extra glue wall breakers, which is why I did expect to see more Narrows. Unfortunately, we just saw him appear kind of once, and even that was more of like, getting information gameplay instead of breaking down the defenses of their opponent. But a little circle analysis here. At the very start of the game, Circle 1 itself had a lot of incidents that were not friendly to a couple of squads.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one reason as well why some of the teams have faltered already despite of the prestige they have. One is Movistar R7. Another is, well, not Red Hawks because they managed to get the 4 elimination early on. But what follows is their demise. I'm loving the circle analysis as well.
Yes.
This is one thing that I've been asking and hoping for the longest time. And it's been 4 or 5 years already. And there's more details that we can talk about every time that comes up. But as we look at the highlights, it is more of the in-game engagement, and this is what I'm talking about for Bremen United. The priority is to make sure that their teammates are alive and get high. Was supposed to just go for the pickup, but he saw a few of their players from R7, and that's when they take him down.
And that time turner was a life-saving time turner for Fluxo, because just with one shot off of that M590, you could have taken down 2 players because they only had a sliver of health on themselves, right? And that kind of shows exactly how well put together Team Fluxo is, from the brink of annihilation to shutting down that squad, making it into the final circle, and walking away with the booyah as well. It's not going to be easy to dethrone Brazil and take this one away from them. I think the other teams are obviously well aware of that, but what can they do with the information, of course, is the biggest question.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's more of how they can play with that. We've seen a lot of teams who use a lot of skills and utilities to gather all this information. It's more of how they can approach it, and it doesn't show up as quickly compared to what we've seen what Fluxo did. The turnaround, the pickup is quite easy. It looks so easy. And one reason as well why they dominated that game number 1.
So for the question of East versus West, even though the East has got the numbers, even though we've got the quantity, the West is still proving that they have got the quality. Lesser squads in there overall, but still managing to walk away with a massive game. Then it's kind of a testament to how strong the fight is going to be from the West to keep the crown on their side. I mean, the East technically has enjoyed the crown being on their side, very specifically in Thailand for a long, long time, for many years. So I think it's good for the trophy to spend its, time in the West. What do you guys think, though? Let us know in the comment section whether you think the crown needs to go back to the East as well.
I have a guess on what the comment section will say, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just waiting and watching for that. But you did mention about East and West, and looking at our leaderboard, we have 4 from the West that is playing for today. It's so unfortunate for R7 that they were eliminated early, but the 3 teams out of the 4 is on the top half of our leaderboard. And you did mention about quality, and all of the 3 are coming from Brazil, so it seems like it's not just East, it is Brazil who's dominating that game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And obviously, Fluxo at the very top, E1 as well as Team Solid, managing to climb up quite a little bit, but and they are in the double-digit, area, but they do need to climb up a little bit more. I am most impressed, though, Neptune, by Heavy. They got into a very sticky situation early on in the game, and I have to say, if it wasn't for the appearance of WAG, they would have gotten crushed there and then itself. I think that the distraction surely kind of helped out in that situation. E1 appeared initially, and then, of course, WAG, but overall, Heavy using that situation, getting the revive and getting the hell out of there, and then regrouping together as a squad to get to the final circle, shows you exactly how much these Vietnamese squads have improved over the years.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see if that is something that would show up even more. But looking at what the question right here, will their Clash Squad dominance hold up in Battle Royale? We're talking about the dual mode champion, Red Hawks, Falcons, and Fluxo. And it seems like Fluxo has already put up their name in there for BR. Now, question is, will Falcons and Red Hawks follow through because looking at the list, they're at the bottom half.
Yeah, they're definitely the bottom half. But all three of these teams, dual mode champions for a good reason. They know how to play a good game of Free Fire. In their own individual regions, they are most definitely beyond champions. They are legends as of this point of time. But when you reach the global finals, when you reach a stage like this, where we throw everybody into a potluck of squads, the story tends to be a little different. And at the moment, the teams with the most amount of experience on a stage like this has managed to climb up the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Once again, why I'm so impressed by Heavy, because they are up there together with them.
Again, it's just a turn event for Heavy with what happened in Southeast Asia fall. I mean, that performance was just outstanding. I mean, if there's a better word for it, that's all I can think of. It's outstanding. Even beating those are the top dogs. Yes, they didn't get the champs, but they were in there comparing their previous performance for spring. They just catapulted themselves up in the second place. And I'm loving that version of Heavy. Hopefully that doesn't die down because you know how it is with Vietnamese team. They move up quickly in the first half and then falter towards the end. And at this level, this is something that is different from what Vietnam has experienced from their recent tournaments.
Yeah, I don't want to see them fall for sure. You know, because we've got 4 squads out of Vietnam this time around. We want to see something from them. But of course, a quick fun fact about the loadout system. You've got 4 roles to choose from: support for buffs, weapon boost for upgrades, tactic for map control, as well as your leg pocket for extra gear. Every choice can change the fight, and you just saw that in action out there.
Yeah, I'm loving that teams is also already utilizing it to the T, despite of the update just coming up a couple days ago. And that's one thing as well. For those viewers out there who are still not familiar on how the loadout system is working, hopefully these games would give you an idea, because I tried myself in playing, but I'm still getting slowly getting a hand of it. And when I say slow, like very, very slow.
It's okay. It's an age factor, my friend. this game, although it can be enjoyed by anyone of any age, it caters towards the younger ones a little bit more. Uncle Neptune will have to take a little bit extra time, but of course I totally agree with you. You know, anything new takes a little while to kind of get used to and to master overall, which is why I love watching all of these esports tournaments where these pro players, I mean, this is their job, this is their life, you know, day in, day out. All they do is Free Fire, right? Yeah. And if they don't master it and they don't show us, who else will? And no better time for the update, because we get to see it on the global stage, and we kind of get to take a good comparison between the teams from, you know, separate regions. You know, a comparison between the East and the West, whether or not the meta that they think is effective out there is going to be different, or everybody's kind of working around the same thing. Because we just saw Fluxo, they're still sticking to what they're comfortable with. We don't see Nero coming out there, and I don't think that's a huge issue at all, because once again, when we saw them win the World Series with that Riptide rhythm, I believe they were the only ones bringing that Skylar into play, because to every other region, to every other team, they were saying, hey, the Skylar is technically out of meta.
Well, let's see if that's something that they can prove once again. Another fun fact, referring to Falcons double champion at C Fall 2025, Karoro said, if winning once was luck, you can't be lucky twice. And I guess they just showed sheer dominance, and it wasn't luck. They won both Battle Royale and Clash Squad.
Red Hawk fans are very happy that Kororo said that, because now they can say that for Red Hawks as well. You know, I tease you guys. I love Red Hawks. I've been waiting for them for a long, long time to make their international debut. We got to see a little bit of a sneak peek up against them. And of course, we get to see them in performance today as well. Once again, a great start, but it fizzled out too early. Luck just wasn't on the side of Red Hawks in this particular start, because even if they were able to manage the situation early on in a decent 4v4, too many teams came rotating into their compound. I think as far as Red Hawks is concerned, they need to start looking for some of these safer drops which are not occupied by any of these other squads, because if they're not prepared for the battle, I usually don't see them hanging around long in the lobby at all. And that's going to be a problem if they don't fix it.
Exactly. I mean, and there's one thing I would want to say, guys, for Red Hawks. Yes, they show dominance in that hot drop, but it's the moving away part that they need to move, that they need to do quite well. Because we've seen a lot of teams, they don't, like, especially in where 12 teams are still involved or 11 teams are still involved. Definitely some of the teams will be hearing those gunshots, waiting for the opportunity. If you spend so much time in engaging in one compound, you will need to anticipate that someone else will be waiting for you. So, like, after the engagement, if you win that fight, then just move away. At least one person can move away, and that can be your insurance policy. Not just for Red Hawks, but for everyone else of these teams who's going for the hot engagement for the early games.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we definitely need to look at a few different factors overall as well. But I do want to highlight one thing, right? We've got a few underdogs who are on the rise here. We've highlighted them extensively already. We are talking about the teams out of Vietnam. We're talking about Red Hawks as well. Okay, we also have to throw Red Cliff into the conversation, because many of the fans out there, and even some of the teams that are on that global stage, they kind of feel like these are the teams that are going to be the filler squads. These are the ones who are going to get crushed and thrown down to the bottom. Now, Red Hawks are not doing us fans a big favor by kind of proving that right in the very first game itself, but it's good that they got punished early, because it's all about the rise up to the top. It's all about how you find those adjustments. But it wasn't just Red Hawks that got crushed early. WAG performed, even worse. They only got 2 points out of that game. And wait, let's take a quick pause on that statement. A quick fun fact here. When it comes to age, still at 16, Blade and Kutush are the third and fourth youngest players at the Free Fire World Series 2025. And right behind AJ Chinoy as well as Rasia. Rasia is still the youngest player out there on the stage. Well, technically he's not on the stage right now, but the youngest one out there on this global finals.
Yeah, I mean, I got hurt a little bit when it comes to age, but fun fact, Neptune is the oldest caster in the lineup right now. But anyways, I mean, you did see, we are seeing a lot of potential, especially from Rasia. When he got introduced, that's when Evo's Divine just changed, changed their face. And I think it's not just the energy, it's not just the mechanical movement that can be done by young people. It's more of how hungry he was in winning those games. Imagine, even before EWC, he's already part of Evo's Divine, and he's watching in the background, eager to put himself on that stage. And the moment that he is there, I think he manifested everything that he has achieved so far, even before he stepped on EWC.
Yeah, I mean, there's two types of people when it comes to manifestations. One just wishes, another one wishes and puts in action to get there, and Russia's the latter, right? It's not just about wishing to get up to the top. This kid is divinely blessed with some, out of this world Free Fire skills. At EWC, if Russia was not there, I do not think they would have become champions, because he was the savior of the squad. Round after rounds, they could have gotten annihilated so early. He kept them alive. He kept them still collecting those points, because there's a big probability that the other teams would catch up, activate Champion Rush, and then sneak it away from EVOS. So they still had to play the game of points by the end of the day. And Russia was the integral piece in that puzzle to keep them still in the competition. And of course, at the end of the day, they still managed to win the whole thing. But yeah, I agree with you. Without him, it would be a little bit difficult for EVOS to dominate overall.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see though. I mean, more of Rasia and Evo's Divine later on. Right now, we're heading in onto our next map. It is Purgatory, and well, let's see if neither heaven nor hell will be able to save teams right now, especially for those who have been stuck in the bottom after those early engagement fails.
Absolutely, man. Purgatory time. And like you say, usually neither heaven nor hell, but they're about to get dodged for sure if they get into yet another sticky situation. Those hot drops are unforgiving. And I want to see if or not Red Hawks will make a little bit of an adjustment in terms of how they drop into the map, maybe avoiding those central areas, picking a little bit of the edges, and Moat House is a perfect option for them. Usually teams do avoid the location of Moat House. It doesn't really serve up the best of defenses. There's just too many, entry points into that area with those zip lines. But they will be sharing a quite close proximity with WAG, which is quite worrying.
Yeah, let's see though of how fast they can move, because looking at the area, it's quite clear, but at this point in Brasilia, R7 will not be in the clear once again. This time, they will be dealing with PE Sports, but not quite sure if they have the weaponry to do so or the position to be able to beat them down. But speaking of beating them down, Puriam United beating down GOW2, or one elimination already done, but Dion will be brought back up.
Yeah, I mean, too easy on those revivals so early in the game, as long as you've got a vending machine somewhere around you. But of course, it's a little bit more heated here. Dinoculus used early on. They do spot out that there's still a lot of heat around the area, but it'll take a pause on the fight between Movistar and PE Sports. Checking out Buriram United Esports, a little split up on the battlefield as of this point of time, but nothing for them to be concerned about as Nero finds Hacks with the Vector, gets those connections on. LBD backs away, Trogon in hand, Game Sting right in front of him. Needs to back up the rest of his team members as Nero now flanks around from the left-hand side, takes the higher ground. Joker meets him halfway. Nolan right behind him. It's a 2v1. And Joker gets caught with his pants down. Great attempt by PE Sports, and the teamwork does get them an extra point.
Yeah, Game King, the only remaining vehicle in hand, but I don't think he'll be able to get away. Shot onto first, and he will be taken out. R7, once again, the first team to be eliminated. It's so unfortunate for them. We've seen the potential from EWC, but it's not showing up this time around.
Stop pissing LATAM off, guys. Okay, they are gonna go crazy if this continues. And I don't like their crazy mode, man, because they are such a coin flip out there. There are times where, we've seen LATAM play a lot of spoilers in the past. And those are the moments where, they're very close to getting eliminated, but then they bring out this beast mode, and that's exactly what's needed for them to stay in the competition. We still do have a little bit of expectations off of them, so let's see in the rest of the 4 games whether or not they do rise up to the top. In the meantime, at Lumbermill, it's a battle between Heavy and Team Falcons. Kororo getting caught all alone here in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, Kororo right now in a 1v2 situation. One of the teammates has been recovered and brought back. Well, let's see if he'll be able to survive, move away, and probably give an opening to On Fire. I think I saw On Fire on the horizon earlier, and this push, this bait might be the saving grace. And there you have it, Kororo, AC80, domination up close and personal, and he might be able to go for the shot the moment that time turner expires. But no, the pickup has been done already, and recovery will follow.
Yeah, I mean, very well played by Kororo there. Sharpshooter for sure. Game of numbers still disabling him. Fantastic save coming on through from Heavy, pulling out the time turner and the glue wall. Kororo in the meantime just trying to get as many hits with the M590 up against the time turner, but obviously not the best of ideas there. But Heavy's still facing a lot of pressure as On Fire shows up now.
On Fire on 1v2 clutch. Now let's see if he'll be able to do the same on Kabi. Parafal in hand.
Nicely
the revive will be done by Heavy, and well, that's a hint that On Fire needs to back away. No one's chasing him. Blue UAB to save a little bit more of strength for that blue wall, but Kabi is getting too close.
Uh-oh, this is a big fight. Fluxo up against Buriram. Look at Bobs. He's got the grenade launcher. Can he make good use of it? Wasana M590 goes in for the first rush, pushes in with the beautiful play on the shotgun, pushes him right out of the situation, but Get High does manage to clip him. He's got the Mag 7 on him still. Oh! Unbelievable early shutdown. Fluxo, the #1 team off of game 1, has gotten eliminated so early by none other than Buriram.
And this is what I'm talking about. You did mention earlier that Brim United all hate all those talk against them is beating them up. Well, denied of that booyah. Now they want some payback. But seems like Team Falcons will not be paying back Heavy at this point. There's still a loss, only one remaining. And it seems like Heavy has just hunted each and every one from the players of Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, the Mag 7 kind of getting the job done there. But it was a beautiful rotation in by Buriram. I think there was just too many seconds of second guessing on the side of Fluxo. They should have definitely used the grenade launcher, the M79 in hand would have, if not stopped, it would have slowed down Buriram and they could have protected themselves a little bit better. But of course, mistakes are meant to be made early in the knockout stage so that the teams are able to clean up whatever mess that they still have in terms of their rotations as well as their strategy before we get into the grand finals. We've got a total of 36 games, out of which each squad will have to play 24. So 24 games to qualify in the top 12. I think it's more than sufficient. Mistake in one of the 24, nothing much to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, on day one and game, the first half of the day, I guess. But if you lose out on all the games...
Why are you cursing them, man?
Bro, I mean, I just want to throw some truth in the battlefield because we've seen that so many times. Yes, there is some hope, but the moment that they get cursed, and I'm not talking about us cursing them cursing themselves because of all the failures that's not being corrected. But speaking of that, Barros right now taking down Kiroro, and we've seen that earlier, that Team Falcons is already a loss. It seems like it's still, the curse is still following them.
Yeah, speaking of curse, Valiant dash in, breaking down two glue walls and an easy elimination, but on fire, still on fire, bringing back his team members one after the other. And now the standoff between PE Sports and Team Solid. Waka up on the roof, looking for a little bit of information, but PE does not want to stay and play. Abandoning the vending machine, looking for a rotation towards the left. But there's a big probability here that WAG comes swinging by. This is trouble time for Vietnam. WAG versus PE Sport with a little bit of interference out of Team Solid could just be a possibility.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, the noise of the vehicle might have pull in PE Sports or probably have them on their toes. The same goes for Team Solid. But as you can see the map or the minimap, they are getting close, a little too close for comfort into PE Sports. The same goes for Red Hawks. Hopefully, Red Hawks hang back a little bit because they don't want to be part of this if they want to survive longer, unless they have the firepower to do so. But speaking of firepower, like Falcon is feeling all those firepower from the beginning of the game up until now. They're still in trouble.
Yeah, he's got the super med on him though, on fire. Grenade. Okay, it's just a glue wall melter. But nothing much to worry about for now. But you gotta admire how Team Falcons has managed to quickly recover their squad. Everybody's got a little bit on them, but not much of cash because multiple revivals have been pulled so far. AG Global kind of putting themselves in a disadvantage by splitting up here. Limit has to take advantage, but Dew is still alive and kicking. Has got the VSK in hand alongside the Car 98. Deep Freeze will not find anyone. Kororo down to half his health, but has got the Time Turner to protect himself. A double glue wall pulled up as well. Riptide Rhythm courtesy off Limit goes in for the shot. Still not finding any connections onto Team SR. They do have the electrotherapy, but Kororo straight into the fight in a 1v2. Those glue walls get erected. Kororo not giving up with the Mag 7, has the confidence and the rate of fire. Damage is there as well. Breaking down all the defenses is Pina. Valiant Dash takes out those glue walls, but it's all alone. Surviving against two players, and Dew takes the fight straight up against Pina. Survives that. Can he come in clutch? Glue wall erected. Dew back up on his feet. Pina with the Bison, but can't seem to find the access.
That he didn't touch. And that's another unfortunate play coming from Team Falcons, and AG Global will push through. But will they be able to make the time? We're already close to the 10-minute mark, and it seems like a lot of real stakes are already being taken by the team. And as you look at this view, there's no more that the agent will be able to sell. Whether the land, whether the house, everything is booked.
My goodness me, that battle between AG and Falcons, it was just too hot. And of all weapons, the M1917 coming in clutch at the very end. Imagine having to pull out your secondary, but it was just big brain stuff, right? You run out of bullets, you still need to stay in the fight instead of just running away, reloading. You pull out your secondary. I think the presence of mind there was just supreme on the side of AG Global to manage that situation. They've also gotten a double revival now, so we do expect them back in the fight in a little bit. Heavy, on the other hand, circling in, looking for the zone. But they will have to be careful here because out in the open, if they do get caught by some long-range shots, they'll have to use up a lot of those precious glue walls early.
Yeah, let's see though if they'll be able to use that. But look at Brave United, they're not rushing, crossing to the river. They do have launchpad, but where will they land? I think the ridge would be a best option for them. I think that's what they're going to take. But Heavy has spotted them, and shots by Kabi, I think it missed a little bit. But I think with the information that is gathered by Heavy, they might be backing away, taking a few more cover before they go for the fight.
But that was a very good jump pad usage here by Buriram. Granted, we've updated the game. You get to be much more accurate now with your jump pad location and repositioning. But Buriram made the right choice, and that's the biggest factor. Heavy could not take full advantage of it. Clearly, not all of their players playing on the marksmen and the snipers. So, and of all teams, Heavy would not want to make that mistake of engaging early when the lobby still has got 9 squads available as we approach our 12-minute mark.
Well, let's see though. I mean, Du is flying solo at this point, surrounded by a lot of teams. I guess it's just more information that they need to gather before they take real estate at this point. But shots from Red Hawks Blade right now onto, I believe, is WAG. And, well, that would trigger even E1 Sports to point their guns at them. Now, that's the problem. When you still have a lot of teams remaining in this part of the circle, in this part or face of the circle, there's a lot of shots that you might receive, and that's not a problem for Brave United because they are hanging way far away from the rest of the gang.
Flame zone time once again. Riptide Rhythm breaking down. A couple of glue walls up on the roof, but nobody home. GOW though, looking for one. Heading out of bed, so nothing much from that situation. GOW on a little bit of a rotation route to the right-hand side, looking for a good flank. But overall, they've got a very decent spot in this next circle. There's nothing much for them to worry about overall.
Yeah, the Flame Zone. Looking at it, it's just nostalgic. Remember the danger zone that we had from the past? It is just bringing a lot of memories. But let's see if there's something that they would have heard, because all the noise might be distracting as well. It's not just the visuals, it's also the noise, and you might not be able to hear your opponent get closer to you. But Brave United not faced at all, jumping behind Red Hawks, and I don't think Red Hawks is ready for that push. But unless they will be moving out, that might be it for Red Hawks.
A great position of the glue wall by Nejat. Manages to walk away, but Jonah finding Flicker with the grenade launcher. Blade on for the save. Nejat dropping by as well. Kutush has to use the medkit. Can't get into a fight just yet. And Wasana takes advantage by shooting from the very corner of the window. Hops on in. M590. The trade out is there as Flicker finds Wasana, but Jonah does the rest of the damage from outside. Buriram overall getting capped. Unbelievable. As Red Hawks backs away, Buriram goes down. And all of the Bangladeshi fans will say that's what you get when you mess with Red Hawks, but they only have Blade. 3 eliminations in hand. This has to be the end for Red Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, Nero did take him down, but valiant effort from the Red Hawks. Now, a little bit scramble coming from Heavy as well as PE Sports. Both of them move away from the compound, and a little bit of throw of utilities, and PE Sports is feeling it. But Heavy needs to move despite of the glue UAV. There's not so much of help, and Steffi has been triggered. Don't cry, already to rush. And a takedown by Nero once again with M79.
Yeah, Nero just took himself out of the equation there, unfortunately as well, right after the initial connection. And that puts PE in a little bit of a pickle. But thankfully, the final player up on his feet manages to get the final elimination and potentially a save here as well. Lao Ho taken out, so Pao gets that point for the squad. PE Sport will not be able to walk away with the booyah on this game. But of course, valiant effort to make it all the way in here. Once again, we've got an equal fight between the West and the East as far as squads are concerned. But when you look at the numbers on those squads, the East has no chance of picking up a booyah here. It's going to be a back-to-back Western gameplay, Western dominance by the start or by the end of this game too, I have to say.
Yeah, Team Solid looking so solid right now, though they lost Nyx. They still have the numbers advantage against E1 and AG, but a shift of the zone might throw them off. And Pao has already taken down 21 blue walls, and there's still a good chance that they will be able to continue this on unless AG Global 2 can heal up, can survive, and get away from that carnage and take down a few players of Team Solid. But he needs that distance. He needs his long-range weapon. That is what he is best for.
Yeah, and now you just need to play a couple of extra seconds here. Best case scenario, he out-survives one of the two squads out there that he's going up against. But Trap quickly repositioning. This is trouble time for Dew. Trap will be able to quickly take him out of the equation with this position that he holds on to now. But Dew moves in a little bit deeper. Potential to spot out Pao. Dew out, has the mini Uzi in hand, gets into the car instead. But spray down, not there. Dew, Liver of Hell, still tries to get away, but Trap with the grenade launcher will take him out, and it is Team Solid picking up the second booyah here on day one for the West. And for the time being, the East is able to smile, but it is the West laughing all the way to the bank, at least a little closer.
Well, Brazil represent. First off was Fluxo, then it was Team Solid. And even E1 Sports survived a little bit longer, so it seems like they will be taking the top board once again. The booyah being grabbed by Brazil. And I'm just surprised on how this is coming up, because from what I remember, Brazil, or Latam Brazil, everyone from the West is very much in a passive state, but not this time around. They know how to time their game. They know how to choose their engagement as well. And it seems like they studied a lot of regions to get to where they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt at all. I think Brazil has just been doing a lot of homework because they understand that it is going to be a slugfest out there by the end of the day. If they're not prepared for the fight, they are going to go down without a smile. But for now, Brazil can smile. The West can smile because they are absolutely dominating with consistency. But the question is, it is just the region bringing in the consistency. Granted, we've only gotten 2 games in here so far, because if we all remember, Fluxo with a massive booyah after game 1, this game, they got caught out by Buriram a little bit too early.
Yeah, I mean, though they are number 1, 9-point lead below Buriram United, that's one thing that Buriram United want to reduce the lead between them and Fluxo. But they were not expecting this end result as well as a takedown against them. So let's see though on how high or how low Buriram United has brought themselves after game number 2. But one thing's for sure, Team Solid, after 10 points from game number 1 and a massive game in game number 2, they might be taking over that number 1 spot.
Team Solid, looking solid. That's exactly what we expect out of them, and they're delivering on the expectations. You gotta like it, you gotta love it. But once again, you've got 24 games. If you're one of the teams that has messed up 2 of those matches, you've got 22 more. So it's not about messing up. It's learning from that experience and making sure you've got the capability to bring in the adjustments. Now, on the global stage, that is a little bit easier said than done, because even if you know what the adjustments are, even if you go out there with those correct maneuvers, with those correct adjustments, you still got to look at the capability of your opponents on the opposite end. And once again, we're on the world stage. This is not the creme de la creme of a region, of a country. It is the best of the best across the world. And this is as good as it gets, man. Let's take a look at the standings off of that matchup and see exactly How well did the squad do for themselves through those numbers? 23 points in total for Team Solid, so this should get them quite up high on the leaderboard because they were not too far away from the number one spot earlier. All Gamers Global, 10 eliminations, 8 placement points for a total of 18, and equalized by E1, who are right behind them as they survived a little longer.
Yeah, well, let's see though. There's a lot more that can be put in, and Heavy right now still on the top 5. I'm loving performance of the team. A lot of elimination, surviving a little bit longer, and I'm quite surprised who is the coach who is taking the lead in Heavy side because they are doing quite well, putting themselves in the 3rd spot after game number 2. Brave United stick to that number 2 spot, but I did mention Team Solid taking over that number 1 spot because they had 10 points already, plus the Booyah being taken from that Purgatory map.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really good for Buriram and Heavy, but props to Team Solid jumping up to the number 1 spot. Unfortunate for Fluxo because after performing so well in that first game, they pick nothing up in the second matchup. But looking at how they did at Alpine, we are fairly confident that we can expect a little bit more from them. But overall, Brazil doing very, very well for themselves. Let's take a look a little bit at the team stats here. You've got the combination of Skyler, Steffi, Oscar, A1 to 4. Still no Nero on the side of Brazil, but I am not complaining, right? 3 of them walking in here with the tactical market as well, Neptune. Only Nick's walking in with the team booster since he's going up and close up against all of his opponents. He's got that extra backup when it comes to the defense out of Joseph, J. Beebs, and Ford. So we kind of see exactly where all of the aggression is coming from. But the MVP, though, is still Hack. He got a triple on that final engagement there earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And I was looking at the skills as well, because yes, the team booster is only being used by Nyx, but Hack has that Olivia. So it counters whatever is missing in terms of the loadout, and he can use tactical market freely at that point. So again, it depends on the play style and the mix and match of skills, the loadout, and everything else, like plus the weapon. But it brings Hack to a different reign when it comes to taking the lead, because he did mention a triple on that final elimination, and also in terms of damage, he put in a few more, and that's one reason why he is the MVP right now. And his favorite weapon is the M590. We've seen that being used, those swings, those jumps, those hits being done by the Brazilians, and this weapon is just pristine.
Yeah, and like you said, right, he walks in here with the Olivia. He also has Joseph as well as Ford out there. Even though Ford had a little bit of a nerf recently on the OB51 update, these teams are still making him one of their favorite picks. We all understand why. You're going out there, you activate your active skill, you get a little bit of extra boost. You activate the active skill, you refresh the capability out of Ford, so that recovery helps you stay up on your feet a little longer, and clearly it helped out greatly in that final engagement. Now, let's take a look at the weapon progression here as well for the squad.
Yeah, I mean, as we look in what weapons has been used in Circle 3, we've seen a VSK as well as AC-80. So at this point, you still have distance from the rest of the team. And then as they move into Circle 5, Nyx has switched from the AC-80 to M590, anticipating that close-range encounter would happen. And it's stuck until Circle 6. But Trap right now, using that M79, I'm loving this. We've seen that in the first game up until now, that it can still bring on a lot of damage, especially for teams who's not using that Steffi. So you can take advantage of that if you don't see that gold circle around it. But if it's not available, or if that shows up, then you need to switch weapon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think, some of the teams have been very proficient on the M79, especially on the global finals. You're going to be expecting a lot of these grenade launches, and both Trap as well as Hack did very, very well in that final circle with these close range weapons, right? You've got the M79 to get an area of, effect damage, as well as the M590 with a little bit of an explosive damage at the very end of the shotgun connections as well. But Buriram did well up until this point when they engaged with Red Hawks. I think Red Hawks were being a little bit too passive in here. But when they stood up and took this fight up against Buriram, my jaw dropped. I could not believe what I was seeing at that point.
Again, from the moment I saw Red Hawks, it seems like the movement is emulated from those like Borneo United in Southeast Asia. So I know that they can move in close quarter. Plus, the update gives you more chances of surviving. The glue UAV, most instance, with the glue UAV out of the picture, those glue walls could have fallen already and Red Hawks could have been taken out, but probably that is what threw Borneo United off their game for that final moment, giving advantage to Blade to survive even longer.
Yeah, absolutely. E1 did do very well this time around. Both E1 as well as Team Solid in that final circle, kind of making Brazil very, very proud once again. This lobby, we all saw what happened to Movistar R7 in the past 2 matches. They've only managed to pick up 1 point in total, not even 1 point in each match. So Movistar R7 not having a good day at all. It could be the spicy food in Jakarta, or it could just be the first day jitters. We all understand exactly how it is. It's quite nerve-wracking to fly all the way out to another country to sit down on this massive, beautiful stage and try to do your best against some of the best around the world. So Movistar R7, they haven't found it just yet within themselves, but they've got 4 more games to play recovery.
Yeah, I guess it's the mindset as well that needs to be changed for the side of Movistar R7. If you remember, from the beginning of the game, they are targeting Borneo United, and they did. They managed to at least get knockdowns, and they got eliminated. And I think they're just trying to do the same, catch up with the points, instead of just slowing down. And that's one thing that they need to change. Get that rivalry away up until the moment wherein you're already recovered with the points and then bring it on. But let's see if that's something they can do in Kalahari right now, because yes, hot drops is possible, but the long range, the getaway might be difficult because there's so much open area in this map.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, I can't wait to see how some of these teams play this recovery on Kalahari. If we're going to take the data that we have collected from all of the past competitions, throw it out of the window, right? Only because it's the global finals and the heat on the stage is a little bit different. The confidence on the stage as well is a little bit different. We saw how Fluxo could go from that most dominant team with massive eliminations in game 1 to getting nothing in game number 1. And we understand why he's saying this as well, right? Because the Red Hawk fans are some of the loudest fans we have ever heard, and they are in every single broadcast, every single comment section. But we love you guys for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Red Hawks number 1 coming from Borneo United, and that was a double-edged sword coming from Wasana at that point. But hopefully for those who understood, then you will be getting the picture of what Wasana meant. But for Red Hawks, there's a lot of fans out there really looking forward for them to perform. It's just up to the team. Hopefully the pressure as well as a little bit of failure that has happened from the past would make them a little bit more hype at this point, because they did move up a little bit after game number 2. And if that progression continues, they might be in the top 4, if not top 5 by the end of the day, unless everyone else follows through.
Yeah, no doubt at all. I'm still waiting for Red Hawks to climb the leaderboard. And by the way, a quick shout out to Bangladesh, Ami Tomake Balobasi. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you share the broadcast as well. Call all of your friends in to see if or not Red Hawks can play a little bit of recovery in the next 4 games. I mean, they did show us a better version of themselves in the second game through the placement points. Eliminations a little bit as well, but it's not enough for me just yet, man.
Yeah, let's see though if that's something that they can change at this point, because we are getting into the heated map of Kalahari, where high ground is important. A long range is even more cautious that need to be taken by the team. But it's more of the drop spot as well. It needs to be considered by everyone at this point. Whether the flight path is fair or offset, they would need to be on their toes, whether they're dropping in on refinery or into the edges of that map. That would be the priority would be on survivability.
And of course the players all gearing up for this Kalahari drop. Question is, do we see some hot drops? Because when we were looking at the scripts for these teams preparing for the grand finals, quite a number of times Red Hawks as well as Buriram shared the same drop spot. But thank goodness we had those scripts because it doesn't seem to be happening anymore. I think Red Hawks were like, okay guys, you know what? Let's just respect the Thai Giants and move away. And I think that's faring them quite well so far.
Yeah, there will be a time. There will be a time that they can challenge them the moment that they get a groove on their rotation as well as the opponent's rotation as well. But Trap and Tikui on the standoff. X4 might be able to go for a surprise, but Nyx will be waiting. So I love this patience, the patient gameplay. Time turner a little bit too early, and Tikui receiving a little bit of shots, but not so much of damage though. And again, your weapon as well as your armor is not that high just yet in this first half. Even the backup without its X4 is in trouble. So Team Solid might be winning this time around.
Wow, beautiful backup by Tikui, but he asked for trouble and he received it. Nyx turned around, headshot straight up in that AC-80, and now Nyx has the opportunity to once again focus on X-Ball, but Nyx is not the only one X-Ball has to worry about here. A 2v1 situation, and Nyx should be able to take the final engagement, but X-Ball, unbelievable AUG counter, gets the knockdown. And we also have a little bit of a spot here on Red Hawks, having a little heat out there. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. X-Ball shut down by Hack, who appeared at the nick of time. VSS straight to the head to take the sniper out.
Yeah, nick of time, pun intended, I suppose. Hacks right now, taking down Kutush. But the rest of Red Hawks is nowhere to be found. Well, Blade is up top. And a great shot coming from Joker, even before Hacks managed to jump on. Now, let's see though. There's still a few players from Red Hawks right now, but if this continue, if this pattern continue, it might be the end for the team once again in game number 3. So let's see if that's something that they can change from this moment on, or probably later if they get annihilated.
Yeah, Buriram cheated us. Sana cheated us. They told us they loved Red Hawks, and now they took down another one. And we've got a final survivor out of Red Hawks here, the one and only Nejad. Poor guy has to pick up enough coins to bring back all 3 of his team members, or at least find a revival platform to get the deed done. But now, a skirmish between Movistar R7 and Buriram as Captain Jonah goes out for a stroll all alone. Is this a bait? Is he bringing them straight into his squad of Buriram players? You have to wait and see in a little bit, as GOW has a little bit of a standoff here on Refinery as well, up against PE Sports.
Let's see though, it is a Vietnam civil war at this point, and GOW just hanging into the vending machine. Not sure what the plan is right now, but that damage will push them away. Glue, UAV being gun, and Demon will be down. M590 coming from Nolan. LBT will shut down Hands, but the pickup is not possible. Now Rip would be the next target, and the rest of GOW might be going down.
That was one of the best Valiant Dashes 180 M590 connections we have seen in a long time. I'm sure he was practicing that quite a number of times. It was too smooth, Neptune. And RIP says RIP to myself as he gets taken out of the equation as well. But GOW still standing. One more survivor. Deanne all alone as he tries to look for a vending machine. Limit finding Kabi. Falcons up against Team Heavy now. That's not going to be too good for the squad, but as they close in on him to eliminate the player from the lobby, the rest of the Heavy players will be able to spot that out and back away.
Yeah, and GOW would be first team to be taken out. Dealing with Brim United, though a knockdown has ensued, but no elimination just yet. So Command Post would be the next stop for Brim United after their drop from their initial area. But I'm seeing that Red Hawks is slowly recovering, but compared to that, Team Falcons managed to pay back to what Heavy has done to them from the previous map. So I guess this might be the rise of Team Falcons after a faltering game from the first 2.
Electrotherapy connecting Cypher. Question is, Team SR, very smart play here. puts down the trip mine, baiting out the WAG players as they quickly flank around. Now giving the vantage point to WAG. This is a very smart play from AG Global, but they put the trip mine on the wrong blue wall, so it's unfortunate. But it's okay. Mistakes happen.
Yeah, definitely. I'm quite surprised though on how WAG and AG Global finds themselves, and Cypher with AC-80 takes down X4. So they lost the long range power, and Barros will be able to go for the push, but he is losing Team SR behind him. So he needs to wait, he needs to double back.
Wow.
But PLS won. The divide and conquer approach by AG Global seems to be working.
Yeah, absolutely. AG Global now just circling in. Tikuya sliver of health, but not a problem at all for these boys. Barros almost got taken down, but did manage to get the elimination first. Redhawks up against Heavy. Riptide Rhythm from afar. Its team solid, shutting all of them down. And Nejad just brought one player in, has to revive the exact same yet again. Since those two players that he did manage to pull the revival on got eliminated, but it looks like he found enough cash once again. Full squad for the Bangladeshi squad.
Yeah, teams are back in play. Now let's see if they can put in themselves in a number for later. Because I'm not forcing Red Hawks to go for the engagement right now. Because it seems like it's a little bit too heated at this point. They need to gear up. They need to be ready before they go for the fight. But Habi might not be that ready because it seems like Team Falcons would stop them in their heels. Kabi plus one more, that would spell elimination for the entire Heavy squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's unfortunate because Heavy just keeps being put on the recovery this time around. Just like Red Hawks, I'll have to say. But it's very impressive that Red Hawks have managed to find the full recovery, not once, but 3 times so far, just in this lobby. But now, as we can see, just on the top and right-hand side corner there, AG Global slowly circling in. Nejad has been using that compound to play the revivals, but if he gets caught out, this is going to be a little bit troublesome for the rest of the Red Hawks squad.
Oh, it seems the trouble has found him, and Kutush would be running away. Mammoth would not be a place that you stay. Again, I did mention that the exit strategy is what they need. And Kutush right now almost be taken down as Team SR, but unfortunately Do has him on his sides with Flicker as quickly as that revives him. Another full squad revival.
I mean, very solid play from AG Global, just going in this buddy system, splitting off the squad of 4, just getting into 2 different smaller combinations. A 2-to-2 combo seems to be working perfectly for them as they flank around. And I think this maneuver has been used multiple times now and has proven to be very effective. Even against Falcons earlier, they managed to effectively do this. So clearly the squad has been practicing this for a while now. AG Global used to be a very soft squad, not looking so anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I heard from Lil Bird that Zoo has relinquished his IGL throne, and it is being taken by Barros, and that gives more chances for him to focus on the sniping. And that's one reason as well why they are looking quite pristine, looking quite well from Southeast Asia Fall up until this moment. So hopefully this continues. I'm loving that page, that phase of AG Global. But for Movistar R7, well, we still need to see them move up because at the bottom is where they are in the leaderboard compared to where they are in the sub.
Yeah, great vantage point for Movistar. A perfect defensive spot for Team Solid in the sub. But that also puts both of these squads in a little bit of an uncomfortable position if the circle drags them away from the sub. Because obviously Movistar R7 will have a great vantage point at the top. Team Solid will have a perfect aim up towards their heads. It's not going to look good for either one of them if the circle is not kind on this next move. Fluxo down at the bottom here. And it looks like they don't have to worry about a lot of these engagements. But again, even if I say that, if they move in towards the players of Movistar R7, they'll have to deal with not just R7 Solid, but also E1. And to make things worse, PE Sports approaching the sub as well.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, all those would be happening in a few seconds. For Heavy, they open up the arsenal. arming themselves a little bit more, but they need to they are tanking the blue as of this moment. I mean, similar to what we've seen some of the teams delaying their approach, and it's still early. Third to the fourth would be happening in 15 seconds, so that's where the damage would be even more. But for AG Global, they spot another player from Red Hawks, and Flicker would be revived by Nedshot. But this is what I'm talking about. They keep hanging back on the same spot. Probably it's because of safety. Probably it's because the scout has delivered that there's no opponent. But AG Global is staying back. Just make sure that they have sight on Red Hawk.
Yeah, I thought AG Global made a mistake here because we don't see the 2-2 buddy system anymore from AG. Barros is running way too far ahead from the other team members. And getting caught out obviously would not be great for them, but thankfully nobody were spotting out AG Global on that rotation. And now in the flame zone, two squads getting caught out. E1 Sports as well as Buriram Jonah gets tagged up a little bit. Captain can play that recovery here, but they are in the next safe zone, so not a lot of rotations needed out of Buriram. But this doesn't look like the safest spot to play, because when if the circle moves away from Buriram, they've just got open lands in front of them, and a lot of those glue walls have to be used.
Yeah, definitely agree with that, and hopefully they can find their position. But for E1 Sports, the position is the target is on them, especially when they're dealing with Team Solid. But PE Sports is also throwing a few on them, but it needs to finish now. Otherwise, a lot of teams will be stepping in, flying in, similar to what we're seeing Falcons, and that position that with Limit X7 and AWM might be able to take down either E1 Sports or PE in this matter, but they will stay silent at this point, and if they move to the left, it's Buriram United that they will meet.
This is definitely crunch time for the movements. As we mentioned, Buriram, they'll have to deal with a lot of pressure as they look for this next circle if it moves away from them, and unfortunate for Buriram, it does move away towards the sub. E1, lots of pressure onto Fluxo this time around. A little civil war within the Brazilians. And it is Movistar Hacks with massive damage this time around. Movistar, great recovery after getting down early. 2 games. It's heavy. Facing a little bit of a heavy challenge from the back. The rotation by Falcons, absolutely sublime. Snuffing out 2 of their players, and Don't Cry, about to cry as he drives Mufasa away.
Yeah, it seems like Heavy would be crying a lot because it is Team Falcons who's bringing them down in more instances than one. But very close to PE Sports right now, plus the noise that they made, they will be targeted by a lot of teams. And with that Dreki, as he heals up, Don't Cry would be a target by PE Sports. Buriram United, though, moving on to the left. Team Falcons on the right. E1, well, they are focused on the long range, but I don't think they've spotted Brim just yet. Unless shots will be made, they will be able to squeeze themselves in.
Yeah, Fluxo spotted out by Buriram now. MT7 looking straight at Get High. Get High looking at MT7, and Jonah making one big mistake. Deep Freeze takes him out, and they do not give them an opportunity to recover. And now Wasana under pressure, as well as the Riptide Rhythm breaks down his defenses. R7 Della shuts down Nejat. Red Hawks are still alive.
Red Hawks still alive and kicking. Couture, though, almost kicking the bucket. It is Hacks from above. And, well, the sub has been occupied by R7 for long. And, well, it seems like Red Hawks will not surviving that long. Now, for AJ, great position to get away from sights of Movistar R7. But the only question is, how will they move up? Later on, once they step in, especially in those stairs, Team Solid will be waiting for them.
Whoa, Fluxo, early downer once again. I mean, they started off super hot. This could be a plan. Maybe they want to show others that they are maybe not the most fearsome team this time around, until the grand finals, of course. E1 loses their double barricade with those glue walls thanks to a Riptide Rhythm, courtesy of Mr. Joker, who saves another Riptide Rhythm off of his Skylar that has not gone into a cooldown just yet. We'll be able to use it once again from this vantage point on top of the sub, but they'll have to move towards the opposite end of the sub now, using up their glue walls as well. Falcons rotating down from that lower ground to potentially encounter Buriram, who meet a double nader out of the M79 courtesy of Fit in. E1 Sports shuts down Buriram.
Finn XP with a double. Now let's see if they can recover and deal with both Heavy as well as Team Falcons, and including the mix would be PE Sports, a little bit of Glue Wall Melter and Glue UAV as well to protect themselves. But Mufasa would be in trouble in a moment. Riptide Rhythm, but still managed to get away. Unfortunately for Lion, he has been knocked down and there's little to no chance for him to be picked up.
Yeah, this is crazy. E1 about to get down and shut out of the lobby. And that's exactly what happens as Falcons picks up the title of Elimination Leader. Circling in, the circle on the side of Falcons. They have the big advantage here. Full squad as well. Flame zone trouble once again as the players look for a little bit of cover. Solid up against AG Global. They do have the vantage point, but AG very smartly sneaking under the platform to make sure they are not the target of anyone.
I love what AG did. I mean, Glue Wall Melter just on that platform that pushes the teams to move away. And let's see if Team Solid will be able to maintain their flank right now onto PE Sports, because they still have the cover, but compared to where Movistar R7 is positioned, they might be a loss, especially if nades are thrown at them. The shift of the circle, as you did mention, favoring Team Falcons, and they're heading away already, probably gatekeeping the rest of the team. But Joker, a headshot, and it seems to be continuing with.
I see ahead, I take the shot, says Joker. And a great rotation round. Movistar R7 still under a little bit of pressure here because the circle is going to be moving away from them. They pull out the Glue UAV to barricade and protect all of their glue walls. Extra bit of defense, leaving Team Solid to shut down PE Sports. AG Global circling into them, and just like that will eliminate the whole squad of Team Solid. Cyber picking up 2 out of the 3 eliminations. AG Global on a different level at this point of time, looking for PE Sports as well, and a little bit of extra help for their glue walls, but the circle will leave them high and dry. Barras up in the air. He does have a little bit of capability to play this maneuver, but R7 waits them right beyond those defenses.
Yeah, let's see if AG can deal with R7 quickly, otherwise Team Falcons might take them down. Sandwich, and between the East and West would be AG Global, and there's no way out other than forward. Now, they are putting in the Glue UAV. Not quite sure if that's a good plan, because earlier I saw someone trying to break down the glue wall, but it's redeemed by that Glue UAV. But still, Riptide Rhythm delaying those breakdown, but still R7 survive as they fall down.
Yeah, I mean, thank God they were in this spot. Early rotation gives the advantage to R7. They played the edge of the cliff perfectly well there, dropping down to the lower ground. But now making their way back up to the top is going to be a little bit of challenge. But Falcons will have to deal with AG Global first. So this is a big advantage to R7. Could we see the West pick up a back-to-back-to-back booyah here? The first 3 games all for the West. There's no better way to start off this grand finals. AG Global now, this time, get a little bit of a peek at the Falcons players. But how many more glue walls do they have? R7 finally shows up into the fight, and Falcons rotating over towards the left-hand side. AG Global should be able to aim down at them, but R7 helps out Falcons to take down AG Global.
Yeah, it seems like in a bit we'll see R7 going against Team Falcons. It's a 4v4 situation, but favor is still on Team Falcons. Hacks right now, M590, but misses that shot, will be taken down. And Team Falcons would be flying high. Della will be on the ground. Booyah will be taken by the Southeast Asian champion.
I believe that's got to be the record of the day, the record of the global finals for 2025 so far, with the number of points the Team Falcons have picked up for themselves. At the start of this game, Team Falcons were placed 10th on the overall leaderboard. They have only picked up 10 points off of the first 2 games, an average of 5 points per game, but they've definitely increased their average after this match number 3 on Kalahari. Falcons are back, baby.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they know how to get themselves back up despite of how low you push them. Well, let's see though if they'll be able to overtake the ones in the top, because it seems like Team solid. Yes, they were surviving so much longer in spite of the pressure coming from above, but the position was not that well. Team Falcons, on the other hand, taking every step up the way, chasing against Heavy, and still managed to get a full squad into the final circle.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, valiant effort from AG Global overall, but it just wasn't their day, wasn't their game specifically, I have to say, as Falcons just had the better spot. And when Falcons tried to rotate away, Movistar R7 started rotating at the same time. That was just a little bit too much of pressure for AG Global to deal with. And to make things worse, instead of AG Global and Falcons focus fire onto the players of Movistar R7, it actually turned on them, and the attention paid to AG Global early by the two squads was just absolutely disastrous for them. But of course, Falcons picking off a lot of those eliminations, sneaking those points to themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what they need right now. And we know how it is. Despite of being down in the early parts of the game, they just know how to switch it up. And that's one thing that we ask, like most instances, for the teams that are failing in the first few matches, especially on the knockout stage. And we did mention about like learning from those mistakes, and hopefully a third game, if you still make the same mistake, I don't know what else to say.
Well, it is what it is, man. This is the global finals. This is the place where teams make right decisions and teams unfortunately make the wrong decisions. And like we said, even if you do have the right decision in your head, executing out there on the lobby, on the global finals is just not a easy task at all. I think the nerves are just on the very edge here, just waiting to break, and it has broken for quite a number of these squads. But it's still very nice to see the recovery from many teams. But this lobby was stupidly difficult, okay? We had the final circle with 6 squads. Bro, how do you even do that? There is just no way. There is no way you get to manage that chaos without breaking, right? And I think the teams that did manage to play that very well on the rotations was Movistar R7. I think their rotations were very timely, and even when they were put in a sticky situation, they still managed to use the terrain to their advantage. Unfortunately, they didn't get the booyah. I would have loved to see the West pick up 3 in a row to kick off the global finals, but the East still has a little bit to say, I guess.
Yeah, let's see though if what else can be done. But in a minute, we're going to see the game standings at this point, and we'll be able to anticipate how high the team has moved. 29 solid points coming from Team Falcons with 17 elimination. AG Global did almost the same with 12 elimination, but in terms of placement, they were gunned down before Movistar R7 was dealt with. So they tied it up with 20 points. PE Sports, though we didn't see them that much, when it's only on that final battle where they tried to survive that well, but that's one reason as well why they only got 5 elimination. Quite surprised why Team Solid only had 5 elimination, because they have good cover. It's only R7 that they need to deal with. It's more of how the zone is pushing them, and they couldn't push through against those already in front.
Yeah, my bad, man. I thought they had 18 eliminations to set the record, but unfortunately, they only picked up 7. Look at me saying, unfortunately, they only got 17 eliminations. So they match up to what Fluxo got on that Alpine map to open up the day with 29 points. But of course, this is going to allow Team Falcons to jump up quite a little bit on the overall leaderboard. From the 10th spot, Falcons just launched themselves into the top 3. How insane is that?
Another insane part is Team Fluxo from number 1 being pushed down to 7. And it seems like the East is just catching up. Like if you even up the numbers, if you average all the numbers, it seems like it's just equal between the East and West right now, because they just know how to get things, turn things around, especially for those in the top of the leaderboard. And AG Global, consistency overall. We've seen the change from Southeast Asia fall, and now it's still following through. Yes, they only get 8 points from Alpine, but when Purgatory happens, they got 18 and then a 20, and it seems like it will keep growing towards the end of the day.
Yeah, and the move to get Dew away from, calling the in-game maneuvers, I think is a huge deal, right? Because usually there's just too much of responsibility on his shoulders. He can't really focus on being the best sniper out there as the in-game leader. But now I guess he can focus a little bit better, and the rest of the team members kind of feel more comfortable on those rotations as well. You can see that through their movements out there on the battlefield, and then of course that launches AG Global up onto the very top. But the team stats of the team that just walked away with a 29-pointer booyah. They've got the Chrono, Skylar, Oscar, Tatsuya on the combo here, Neptune.
Yeah, well, loving how both On Fire and Pina is prioritizing on not only being beefed up, especially with Pina, but also with the healing the teammates. Yeah. Yes, they have the team booster in play, but they can back it up with a passive skill with Olivia in play. So it's not just On Fire. Focusing on being the support, Pina will be there as well, and this helps quite well when you go with that 2-2 split. I mean, you can have Limit X7 from behind as a sniper, and then that would push Pina in the middle to who can move front and back just in case needed, giving more opportunity for Guerrero and On Fire to be in front lines.
And it's important to note as well that they play a double Olivia and a double Shani. It's all about the recovery. It's all about getting that extra layer of shield points on yourself through that Shani, and Olivia just spreading out all of that healing capabilities. This is what keeps Falcons in the fight, especially when it gets a little bit heated out there in that final engagement. These passive skills definitely came in clutch for the squad, with Pina walking away with a total of 7 eliminations. Ooh. Can you believe that, man? I mean, this was a great game overall for the team, but when it comes to the assists, On Fire and Limit just continuously pummeling these players with a lot of those shots, and Limit walking away with a total of 3,861 damage. And I mean, no surprises there. As the sniper of the squad, this guy is lethal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen him dominate the game, especially in Southeast Asia region, and it's just a statement that he is bringing up onto, I would say, MT7, because MT7 is one of the best snipers, and that is what Team Falcons need right now. That's one reason why they acquired Limit X7.
Yeah.
And at this point, with the progression that Team Falcons and Limit X7 has shown, they are a good contender against the defending champion. So going back, Limit X7, the sniper, AWM in hand, Skylar, Moko, Maro, and Suzy, similar to what we've seen some of the players did, like MC7 used earlier, but tactical market to give them a little bit more options in getting more of the utilities into play.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt at all. And of course, you've got the Moko-Maro combination here, dropping out the Raphael from the mix of the sniper build and picking the Suzy instead for the extra coins, because we have seen Limit sometimes double down as the support player of the squad in charge of hitting those revives. So having the Moko combination on Suzy, marking up those players, getting the extra coins off of that as well, surely gives him the extra advantage when it comes to the resources in the game through those free fire coins. 4 eliminations, not the craziest number that we've seen so far. In fact, some of the other team members in his squad do have more eliminations, but the damage is just ridiculous, and the impact that Limit brought into this game overall was just absolutely perfect. Now, let's take a little bit of a peek here as well into the circle analysis, Neptune, because in Circle 1, there was so much of chaos, and Movistar R7 had a great start to that circle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they just stuck to there in the sub, but I was taking a peek of Team Falcons. I mean, they moved into northeast and then rotated on the edge of northwest before they headed south into the final circle. And we did see that initial run when that shift to the circle moved on, but I was expecting R7 to make that move to take down Team Falcons. It's a good thing that Team Falcons had great cover to deal with AG and then turn their position or their attention to Movistar R7.
And look at the number of squads still alive and kicking up until circle number 6, right? This was just unbelievable. I mean, it's Kalahari. Yes, you've got a lot of elevations there, so you can kind of layer squads into a small little compound. but it was just too many in that final circle for sure. And circle 7, when the zone started to move away, that was where Falcons had the greatest of advantage because they were in the best spot. Circle said, you know what, Falcons, I want to smile at you a little bit today. Extra advantage to Falcons, and the dual champions of Southeast Asia managed to use that advantage and pull away the booyah. But it wouldn't have been possible without the support of Movistar R7. Movistar R7 helped Falcons take AG Global out of the equation, and AG had, I dare argue, the best position to fight against these two there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have the higher ground, but the circle is against them, pushing them onto Movistar R7. But let's see, though, on what happened to the game through the highlight. And I want to see more of these engagements to more like favor Red Hawks, because it seems like, again, they're sticking to the same problem, same mistake. They've spent so much time in Mammoth, they tried to push through in the sub, and they're still taking the area where the number of crosshairs are on them instead of rotating quite far, similar to what we've seen Team Falcons has done. But I guess to it, each their own, and hopefully they'll be able to find their way later on.
I mean, no doubt at all. I think this was that moment, right? Great time turner from the side of Movistar's R7, and great teamwork between R7 and Falcons to take AG out of the equation. But in a fair 4v4 fight, that's where the biggest of difference came to be, because of the passive skill combination of this team from the East. Falcons just focus on the recovery and the shields, and that just gives them the extra layer of confidence to rush in at their opponents. Movistar R7 just couldn't deal with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing that they need to consider as well. And hopefully they can make that adjustment before this next game. Because, yes, we're done with 3 matches already. We are up to see the remaining 3. And I believe the next map would be in Bermuda, where you know that it might be slow, even more chaotic towards the final circle because of the over-familiarity of everyone in this map.
Yeah, I have not been getting my hot drops. I think we will next map. Bermuda is where everybody's comfortable, and they kind of don't want to let go of their, preferred drop spots. I'm expecting the ego to play a little bit more here. Many teams think that they are dominators on this map, so I want to see them take a little bit of action towards those feelings, right? Get out there, get a few aggressive engagements, but yeah, again, easier said than done on a stage like this. I do expect, of course, although I say that, to see a little bit of, passive plays out there as well, because teams who have started aggressive haven't really fared that well.
Yeah, let's see though on how well they can change things around. But, well, halfway through into the day, and it seems like a lot has happened already, but we will see a lot more later on as we go in for a little bit of content before we get into the continue of the game.
The battlefield of Free Fire is evolving once again. OB521 isn't just another update, it's a full-on meta shift. Loadouts redefined, arsenals upgraded, and the rules of revival rewritten. This is the new landscape every FFWS finalist must adapt to, or be left behind. Let's break down the ultimate game changer, Loadout 3.0. The shift from solo gear to team economy is absolute. Enhance Hammer lets you instantly upgrade a teammate's weapon. One red tier gun can determine who wins that early scramble. Tactical Market introduces Bolt Maker zones for smart control, and the Super Leg Pocket combines essential survival items into one resilient tool. The old meta is dead. Coordination is king.
Triple kill.
This meta was practically built for the aggressive roaming giants. Teams like RRQ and Buriram United thrive on early momentum, and now they have zero excuses. The weapon rack guarantees a gun off the drop, and the Enhance Hammer ensures their first rush hits lethally hard. They will dominate the kill point race, setting the pace for the entire lobby. But the mid-game masters, the teams that are start safe but always ready for combat like Fluxo and R7, get their own safety nets. The Super Revival point allows for riskier mid-game fights because a revived ally returns with a much better chance to stabilize. They can leverage the gold accumulated from safe rotations into the upgradable arsenal, ensuring their late-game inventory is overwhelmingly superior. Now, let's talk defense. Survival-focused squads like Heavy gain endurance from the Super Leg Pocket and New Glue Mushrooms that add healing to their fortifications. But there is a massive counter. The new character Nero is the ultimate anti-fortification tool. His skill generates a field that prevents all glue wall placement and drains health inside. This is the new key to breaking up stubborn late-game holds. Survival teams must adapt or they'll be defenseless. In Loadout 3.0, the Team Booster stands out as the most strategic upgrade. It will be a must-have item for all teams. Each Team Booster user can choose up to 3 of 6 buffs, with the first slot being free and the next 2 being unlocked with coins. These buffs can increase healing, movement, or team coordination, making the team economy a key part of mid-game planning and opening up a myriad of new gameplay combinations. Commanding concluding. So who benefits most? While every playstyle gains a new tool, the pure early game consistency provided by the weapon rack and the enhanced hammer turbocharges the aggressive approach. Our final take? ROQ and Bariram United are best poised to ride this acceleration to the top. They'll dominate early kills, and the new resilience tools will secure their late-game push. Get ready for an FFWS Grand Finals where the early birds definitely catch the win. What's your prediction for the FFWS Grand Finals? Let us know in the comments below, and don't miss the action.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Room of Treasure. First Doubts and Burn Bright. Right next to me we have 2 candidates from the Vietnam region. Here is Kabi from Heavy and this is Tê Quý from WAG. So let's have a little chit chat with me right now. Alright, so we will start with Tê Quý first. Alright, so during the Media's Day, a lot of teams saying that Vietnamese teams here is just like the fillers to the tournament. Only 1 or 2 teams will make it to the grand finals. So how do you think about this? Xin chào Tê Quý, thì đến với câu hỏi đầu tiên là ở trong nghề làm media của chúng ta thì có rất là nhiều đội tuyển khác bảo rằng là những đội tuyển Việt Nam ngày hôm nay có mặt ở chung kết thế giới lần này tại Jakarta thì giống như là chỉ là tô điểm thêm thôi, chứ cao lắm là sẽ có đến 1 tới 2 đội có thể tham gia vào chung kết. Thì bạn nghĩ như thế nào về ý kiến này?
Theo em nghĩ thì Việt Nam mùa này chắc cả 4 đội vào chung kết luôn nha.
Và đâu ra mà chúng ta có được một cái sự tự tin đến như thế 4 đội Việt Nam, bởi vì đó là một con số chiếm cũng khá là nhiều đấy ạ.
Đây là lần đầu tiên trong lịch sử FIFA Việt Nam có 4 đội đi tham dự giải thế giới ạ.
Alright, so for the translation, Tê Quý said that no, I think there will be 4 Vietnamese teams can qualify to the grand finals because this is the first time in history Vietnamese can having such a crowded places like that in the grand finals. So we do believe that we have the power to all of us qualify to the grand finals. To our next question will be Kabi. So as we can see, the Vietnam region right now has the most dominating teams in the global finals this time in Jakarta. So do you feel pressure, tired, stressful, or even this is your motivation to push up you further? Bởi vì đến với chung kết thế giới lần này, khu vực Việt Nam chính là khu vực có nhiều đội tuyển góp mặt nhất. Thì không biết là Kabi có cảm thấy bị áp lực khi mà có nhiều đội dòm ngó đến hay không? Hay đây là một cái động lực để cho mình thúc đẩy đi xa hơn vậy ạ?
Em nghĩ là không áp lực bất cứ điều gì hết.
So for him, he said, I don't feel any pressure because it's really easy to understand. Heavy achieved their second place in the Free Fire World Series fall last time in the grand finals and they did a very good job. So maybe that's why they are hunger more for the victory. It's really easy to understand. Vietnamese region is not a place that you can bully at all. And I'm so proud of them today. This is the end of our interview. Thank you so much for listening and let's heads out.
Welcome back survivors. I don't know what was that, Yunsu, but I have received whatever you threw at me. This is the best start that we have had to our global finals. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the action, and for some of these squads, the disaster, right? You're here with the Mustachio and Neptune, your casters for the day, and for the time being, it's still leaning towards the West when it comes to the Booyah victories. Falcons pulling one back for the East, but it almost went to the West yet again, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. But in terms of numbers, in terms of points, it seems like it is balanced because AG Global did manage to put themselves in number one spot, but that would depend on how well they can treat it. Would it continue on with their consistency, or will they falter after this, similar to what we've seen Team Fluxo? Because Fluxo, they got that first Booyah and then fell down in 7th place after 3 games.
Yeah, and of course, Falcons climbing up from a 10th spot all the way into number 3 after just one good game. The previous 2 games where Fluxo and Team Solid took their victories, they only scored 5 points average per match, which was really not like Falcons at all. And we have to remember, both you and I predicted that Falcons were going to be number 1 by the end of the day. It wasn't looking good after the first 2 games. But of course, with Falcons finding the recovery on game 3 here, you know exactly what your casters are expecting. More of that Falcon flying high. But is that going to be easy? Is that going to be possible? Will the West allow the East to steal away their great start to the day?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, another contender would be Team Solid, who is doing quite well. After getting that Booyah, they managed to survive a little bit longer, especially in Kalahari. But the only question is, will they be able to do it in Bermuda? Because it seems that other teams might be able to take advantage of this map, the familiarity that they have in this map, to be able to get more points. Looking at the map performance of Team Solid from the previous tournaments, like the qualifiers onto this, Bermuda is not their first pick. They're not their top choice in terms of elimination as well as total points per match. So hopefully that changed this time around.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt at all. I think we have got some of the teams here who are very nervous, right? Yes, we do praise Vietnam for coming out of the gates very confident and capable, but very specifically, that's only going towards heavy and PE sports.
Yeah.
GOW and WAG, on the other hand, have been taking a severe beating game after game after game. And you see WAG down at the bottom, and this is the most popular team out of Vietnam. When it comes to the fan base, when it comes to their social media skills, they are absolutely killing it. And sometimes when WAG does get activated out there, they do very well. But just today doesn't seem to be that day. WAG has not been able to play that recovery, and alongside them, GOW has been doing quite badly as well.
Yeah.
And, well, to the delight of the Red Hawk fans, Red Hawks doing slightly better than these 2 teams that I just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of WAG, first off, in Alpine, they were taken down by Fluxo. And then, once we go into the next map, they were eliminated by Team Heavy, the team from the same region. And then we saw earlier in Kalahari that they were eliminated by AG Global, their rival, I would say, in most instances than not, in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I mean, it just isn't faring well for them. And out of the West, we do have one team that is struggling, and that is Movistar R7. This time round, in that previous game that you just saw at Kalahari, was their recovery play. They got close, but not close enough. Unfortunately, they had to get taken down. Falcons ripped it away, but that was a decent recovery for them, right?
Yeah.
Or else they would still be somewhere down in the depths beside GOW as well as WAG. Fluxo, after a great start, has been dropping down quite drastically. This is a surprise because it was a 29-pointer bomber. And after that, collectively in the past 2 games, they've only collected 3 points.
It was just a bummer. It was just a bummer after that 29 points bummer. But I mean, it's depending on probably because of the progression of some of the teams right here. Because we've seen that they were slow in the beginning, and that's where Team Fluxo took advantage. But it's fortunate for them, they couldn't adapt to what the other teams, the other region can bring into the game. So hopefully this is a saving grace for them going in Bermuda, wherein I can't stress enough on how familiar everyone is. But the worry is, earlier we've seen in the game a Circle 6 wherein a lot of teams are still surviving. The same might happen in Bermuda.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see that again. But at the same time, I want to see that again. So much of chaos, so much of confusion, because it's just no way to really confirm your rotations in that situation, which is why I really love what Movistar did in the final bout. But early on here, we see a battle between WAG as well as Red Hawks, and Movistar R7 has caught sight of this action and they want a piece of it as well.
Oh, let's see though. I mean, who's going to survive that? And again, another unfortunate event if in case Red Hawks fail, because if they can eliminate the first contender, then they need to move out. That's the first condition that they need to do. Otherwise, that would be lost for them. Blade though, going on 1v1 against Games King. Hacks has been taken down, and let's see if they'll be able to recover. Flicker a little bit delayed in the action. AC-80 equals the Bison in hand, and Della just jumps with the G36, moving in, flying in like a G6 at that point. 2 elimination already for R7, courtesy of Red Hawks.
Yeah, and Team Solid now meeting Buriram very early on. Wasana just runs through Hack, pulls out a time turner. Team Solid player still alive and kicking up on his feet. Get high, gets caught, but they pull out their own time turner to protect themselves from those shots. Wasana backstab Hack, level 3 MP5 in hand, and they're running circles around the players of Buriram, but that's not going to be easy, as Get High has an MP5 as well, and he's not afraid to use it. But the battle ain't over just yet for Buriram. They have to be careful. GOW drops by to say hello.
Now let's see though if GOW can put in some damage. But speaking of damage, it has been healed by Red Hawks as 2 of their players has been revived. But unfortunately, Nejad will be taken down. For Jonah, he is healing up. Rip is already down. And there goes the combination of Jonah and Moshi. Before picking him up, he managed to bring Wasana back, and they're a full squad once again.
Yeah, this is a beautiful play from Captain Jonah, making sure to prioritize the revival before the pickup. And obviously, they'll keep the team surviving a little bit longer if in any case the battle does go south, but they do manage to overcome the pressure the GOW brings in here. Demon has a great gun, but up against 2 players. Demon still gets the headshot onto Moshi. Unbelievable. But unfortunately, the numbers still playing against him. GOW picked on the wrong squad this time around, but they did manage to play their own recovery through those revives as well. So they'll...
And they don't want to risk being eliminated early at this point. Currently, they are in 11th spot, and they don't want to be pushed down. So they need to be passive and get away from a lot of engagement. It's still early. First and second phase, there's still plenty of room to wiggle.
And only one team lost in the sauce at this point of time on this Bermuda map. Unfortunate for Team Solid, their performance this time was not as solid as they would have liked it to be, and they just pull a Fluxo on us because they climbed to at least close to the top, just 2 points behind AG Global. But they falter badly in this Bermuda opener, and so a single point they picked up before getting eliminated. So not much to smile about. Limit almost got that one. ESK, but the connection on the follow-up is solid. The rest of the players on the side of Falcons, though, flanking in. They want the fight and they want PE spots out of this lobby. They want the points off of them in their pockets. Grenade from the side of PE flying straight towards the players on the side of Falcons. Is that a frag or a glue wall melter? We'll have to wait and see, but Pina's already aside and on fire, finds the connecting with the Winchester, and they rush on in to shut down the rest of the PE players. Pina now with the Bison. Steffi pulled out, but it's useless. Falcons annihilating PE Sports.
I love that Bison is back in play as a meta weapon, and a lot of players has been utilizing the fire rate of this gun. But Lao Ho moves away, but he is on the crosshair. He is on the map right now because the hit list is on him. So he wouldn't be able to get away that easily, but with the amount of coins he has, he will be able to bring back the rest of the team. So, well, valiant effort for him. He will survive, and the rest of the teams can fly away far from that area to survive long.
Yeah, he just told his team members, don't worry guys, you guys can get eliminated again. I can revive all of y'all again. No issues. This one
have
on
coins.
me.
You have coins up until the next lobby.
This one's on me. Don't worry. All you can revive buffet. WAG. Now, oh my lord. He quit with at the highest 50 of all guns. Taking hacks out of the equation here, and Movistar backing away from WAG, who has scored 6 points already. That's a great start for Vietnam and for the team that's literally dead at the bottom in the 12th spot.
And let's see on how long they can go at this point for Brunei United. 8 elimination already, especially with Carnage at peak that we've seen earlier. And they are moving away. But for Decoy, managed to take down Della, increasing the 8 points that they already have, or the 6 point rather, that they already have. And there's still more to spare for R7 if in case WAG managed to spot them. But Launchpad is available. They can either move in to where the gunshots are, or they can just choose to stay at the edge. And they can be safe. GOW are the only contenders in their way.
Yeah, since we've slowed down the pace here a little bit, I just want to say, because I'm looking at the comment section on this YouTube page here, our official esports YouTube page, to be specific, I see a lot of trash talk from the other regions up against Red Hawks. We have to remember, at one point of time, that used to be Vietnam. You know, we had teams like Team Flash, and they were just bottom feeders. They could do nothing in these lobbies, but they were teased, they were challenged, and this is what they're doing. So you guys can make fun of Red Hawks, but you better be careful what you say, because the comeback is going to be sweet out of Bangladesh eventually. But for now, Buriram getting a couple of claps here. AG Global caught out Barros. What a nade sent towards Moshi. The Steffi was popped, but all of those players outside of the Steffi circle. Yet another nade tossed on in. Doesn't find anyone from the side of Buriram. They all flank around from the left-hand side, looking for the reposition. Osana up against Team SR could be a possibility here, but Buriram pulling a U-turn as they do not want to get stuck in an open fight up against AG Global. They retract and looking for the retreat out of the compound, looking for the safest side of things instead of an all-out battle up against AG so early.
Yeah, again, the plan for Brunei United is to end an engagement quickly. And if they cannot pull that off, they just move away. And it's a good thing that they pull away as well, because in a bit, Ju will be coming back. And because the area was clear where he falter or we fall down, he will be gathering his resources once again. But let's see if E1 will be able to take down Movistar R7 and Bima Sakti Strip. Though the hit list is on Lion, but they're not afraid to move out in the open because they do have the weaponry to play with.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, we feel bad for Team Solid, but they've already picked up some solid points for themselves, pun intended, to make that mistake in this Bermuda map. So 2 more games to go. Nothing's going to stop them from aiming for the #1 spot by the end of the day. E1 Sports, on the other hand, they are doing fairly well for the East, aren't they? In the 4th spot right now, quite decently average with the eliminations. Not the best, but they are up there with the rest, right? So that's good enough for them. But what's more important about E1 is the placement points. They seem to be able to maneuver themselves around in towards these final circles very efficiently now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they are just playing with the basics. Survivability is one of the basics of Battle Royale, and that is what they're trying to do. If in case they go into the fight, lose a few players, they move away that quickly, but it's not the case for GOW. Despite of them moving away, they drop into the open, into the sights of Team Falcons and Riptide Rhythm. Despite of a few of those shots, it doesn't break down those glue walls. GOW right now will try to fire back, but 2 against 4 from Team Falcons is not enough. So they need to revive their teammates or probably make a way to where Rip is, because it seems like that area on the left is a little bit safer. But Guerrero says, no, I'm going to gun you down.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons focusing on GOW, but here's the thing. You have got WAG in the vicinity on fire, might stop them out, or yep, he definitely sees them. Takes the rotation straight up towards them, but I think that was a little ballsy of on fire, because he could have gotten clipped right there and then in itself. But WAG doesn't take the first shot here. They will choose to retreat from this battle. Both teams outside the circle, tanking the damage from the blue. Of course, it's not too hurtful at this point of time, but it will eventually start clipping you just enough. Grenades courtesy of WAG, and now they move on it. Tikui M590 first does not find the connection, but the second shot does manage to get the clip. Demon brings in Dian as GOW looks for the recovery. In the meantime, Tororo found, export traded. Vanvo has to turn around, looking for the pickup as well. Time turner pulled out by On Fire. Tikui gets away with the Valiant dash, pulled out defensively, catches up with On Fire as well. WAG just with 2 more players on their side, looking for the shutdown, taking On Fire out of the equation so nobody else can get picked up. And now Pina, what will you do? Electrotherapy has its connection here. And Tikui with the grenade, just making sure Pina does not catch up with them.
Yeah, what Pina would be planning right now is to pull them away into the open so that Limit will be able to will be picked up. But it seems like Limit is already in the ground and managed to move away. But unfortunate for Tikui, couldn't recover that quickly. Let's see if the pickup can be done by PLS1, third to the 4th phase. This is going to hurt, and I don't think they have enough on the team booster to be able to heal them that quickly.
Yeah, Pina just gave up on that fight a little bit too early. He had a great opportunity to pick up Limit and turn things around. But of course, you know, we can't blame him for making that decision. They just didn't want to take any chances. And now a battle between Red Hawks and PE Sports. PE Sports inside the assault bunker. They've got the better weapons, highly probable situation here. Now, Monster Truck pulled out as a defense on the right-hand side. You can see the glue wall UAV coming up as well. But GOW could just serve to be that threat that takes Red Hawks out of this equation now, because as they rotate in, they've got a great line of sight. And from the right-hand side, Fluxo rotating in as well, looking for the circle. Red Hawks in a lot of trouble. How do they deal with this?
At this moment, this is where I'm hoping the teams are using Nero's Cryo Mine, because PE Sports is stuck in there. If you use that plushie, if you have Cryo Mine, they will chip in the damage on there, and they couldn't even put in so glue walls. But before anything else, let's head into Team Fluxo against AG Global. AG Global managing to survive a little bit and defending, fortifying their defenses. But unfortunate for them, Bobs managed to pull out an M79. It seems like AG Global is out.
Yeah, AG Global, #1 on the leaderboard right now, snuffed out. Red Hawks got a little lucky here as Falcons took the right-hand side rotation instead, allowing Red Hawks now to find the connection up against PE Sport. Nejat with the knock, but the recovery with a double, triple, quadruple glue wall to protect and pick Lauho right back up. And GOW joins the fight as anticipated. They take the fight straight up to Red Hawks. Kutush gets knocked down to the ground. Nejat trying to play the game of recovery, pulls out the time turner, hops into the monster truck, tries to drive away. But the monster truck super slow, and PE Sport will help out Red Hawks with the distraction. Buddy gets away, and a civil war breaks out between PE and GOW.
Oh, Red Hawks still alive, but heading into Team Heavy, and unfortunately, Don't Cry hits him with an AC-80. Valiant effort, but it took a little bit more time for them to take PE Sports down, giving time for GOW to push, and they managed to take down both. Only Lauho remains out of PE Sports, but the next contender would be Heavy, and Civil War continues.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's unfortunate for Red Hawks because they should have been a little bit faster on that engagement. They should have just rushed into PE Sports. You know, like you pointed out, if they had the narrow, could have been a little bit more easier. But even without, they just needed to take that decision, because standing outside the assault bunker in a circle like this, just a terrible idea. And GOW made them pay big time for the decision that they made. Fluxo, on the other hand, circling around, taking AG Global out of the equation to take their defensive spot, as well as a great position for this next circle. This is big brain play coming in for the Western squad, and we have got three of them here from the side of the West.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, E1 might be taking R7, but it seems like the movement is prioritizing in the next phase of the circle. Heavy though, taking heavy damage from both sides, and unfortunate for them, they couldn't survive. Now, GOW, 11 elimination already, needs to deal with Team Heavy, but they need to speed up, because whoever wins between R7 and E1 would be the next contender in that fight.
Yep, E1 now has to deal with shots from all around. Fluxo focusing on them. GOW looking for the shots as well as E1. will get eliminated from the equation. Movistar R7 taking advantage of that situation, and GOW taking a fight up straight to Fluxo, but they have to be careful here. Trip mine laid out by Bob, so GOW circling straight into them will be absolutely disastrous. The knock does stop Hans, and that could have just been the saving grace that Fluxo gave GOW. If they didn't get knocked by that, it would have been the trip mine, which has been a little bit more disastrous. Now, defensive spot rotation by GOW. They are now in a safer place as opposed to Team Fluxo, but the circle will move in favor of Fluxo. Movistar R7 might take the fight up to them next.
Hell, let's see though if Movistar R7 moves left for Fluxo or right for GOW, but either way it would be happening in a few seconds, and it seems like Team Fluxo has a lot of attention from both teams. Bob's already down, MC7 is out, and the team's left to Budastin, who has nowhere to go. Super med in hand, would there be enough for him to recover, or will he be taken by the blue? But given the fact that GOW has more numbers than R7, it seems like the East might be getting a booyah in this point.
Yeah, the East looking for one back here to play a 50-50. GOW, a 4 versus 2. Movistar R7, you gotta respect the recovery. Games King with the FGL shots up against the glue wall of GOW, but this is not going to deter them at all. GOW knows that they do have the advantage here. Games King runs out all alone. Joker trying to back him up with the BSK from afar. RIP. The flag from the left could instantly put an end to Joker here, but GOW not taking any chances whatsoever, and Joker with his position does manage to get the knockdown onto Demon. Eliminated instantly. The Steffi does get popped, Games King gets dropped, and now it's a 3v1 up against Joker.
3v1, a dream has been used. Let's see if Joker can survive, but the onslaught is on. GOW going for that booyah.
How amazing was that? GOW from the 11th spot managing to conquer this map of Bermuda. Massive eliminations, great positioning, great decision making, and they were not taken on chump squads. They were taken on some of the